Torica,
Yes.
what's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Awesome.
Torica, let's talk to him. You living or you surviving?
I'm physically living. I'm mentally surviving.
Explain.
So, I'm an overthinker.
Gotcha.
I'm an overanalyzer. And sometimes I bite off more than I can chew.
Gotcha.
So mentally, I'm trying to get it all done. But
Gotcha.
physically, I can only do one thing at a time.
Real.
So my mind is doing this and my body is doing this.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm physically living and I'm mentally surviving. And I'm really trying to figure out, the best way to compartmentalize my thoughts so
Right.
that I'm not overwhelming myself. But, I'm a mother, I'm a businesswoman, I'm an artist. There's a lot on my mind. There's a lot of things that I'm responsible for thinking about. And I think a lot of people don't understand the power of mental capacity on your physical. Like being mentally exhausted has a direct impact on your physical
That's a fact.
exhaustion. So I think my lack of physical exhaustion or physical exertion, I should say,
Right.
leads people to think like, oh, well, she's got it, under control, but they don't realize that my mind is doing this.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's the best way I can describe it.
Respect.
Welcome to the Integrity Response with your brother CEO Khacki. Every individual sitting across from me doesn't believe in being typical, ordinary, or familiar. They're elite, meaning society's norms don't sit well with them. They believe in raising the bar for themselves, family, and for those they may never meet. From those in humble beginnings to those in the midst of greatness and legends who've paved the way. With a comedic edge, I will ask the questions that hold value, and I believe we'll gain insight to the real them. It's the Integrity Response.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Before
Okay.
entrepreneurship, before becoming an R&B artist, at the age of 9, what did you want to be?
I just wanted to be successful
Right.
at whatever it was that I did. At that age, I knew I wanted to sing or perform or act. I really just wanted to be on TV.
Gotcha.
That was my thing.
Gotcha.
So when I would watch, the Apollo or Star Search or any of those talent shows or any music videos or concerts, performances, award shows,
Right.
I was like, I want to be up there doing what they're doing.
Real.
Yeah.
Real. Gotcha. So you always knew that was in you.
I always knew that I needed to be in front of large audiences. I was always able to captivate people's attention.
And you grew up in the church singing as well.
I did,
Come
yeah.
on now, that's what's up. So you actually grew up in the church singing, weren't afraid, confidence early on.
Well, I was always in the choir, but I
Gotcha.
never sang a solo.
Gotcha.
So one day I was in the hallway and I was just singing to myself,
Right.
thinking no one was around, no one heard me. The choir director was coming down the other end of the hall and I didn't see him. So he heard me, and then when he realized it was me, he was like, "Oh, I'm putting you in the hot seat on this
Wow.
Sunday. Like you're gonna
Wow.
sing in front of the church. Everybody needs to hear this voice."
Wow.
So I performed the song. I think I did "Silver and Gold" by Kirk Franklin.
Classic. Classic.
And I sang with my eyes closed the whole time because I was
Gotcha.
super nervous. And when I opened my eyes, when I finished singing, everybody in the church was on their feet.
Wow. Come on,
Yeah.
sis. So what did that do? Although we're glorifying God.
Just looking at their reactions, some people were smiling, some people were laughing, in a happy way. Some people were crying, some people were just standing there with their mouth open, like, I didn't know this little girl has such a powerful voice.
Wow.
So I think I just, in that moment, became addicted to that feeling, like connecting with people in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your aunt is also a decorated opera singer.
Yes.
What did that do? Even seeing that growing up, what did that actually do for your...
Well, she's really the only person in my family that can sing besides me that I
Gotcha.
know of. Obviously, way before I could remember,
Right.
my mom would tell me that my aunt would sing to me when I was a baby.
Wow.
And I would mimic and coo back to her in my baby voice. But by the time I was 4, I was identified as having perfect pitch. So I
Wow.
could mimic anybody's voice. So I can sing like anybody. Like if I have to, in respect to what I do now, like writing songs for placement.
Right.
I have to demo a record for an artist. Like a label may say, "Oh, we are looking for songs for Keisha Cole." I know how to sing like Keisha Cole so
Wow.
that I can sell that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
What type of kid were you growing up?
I
Outside
was
of the music?
always very outgoing. I was always a hustler. So
Gotcha.
we had a candy lady growing up. She lived next door to us.
Right.
She was open Monday through Saturday. So on Saturday, right before she closed, I would go buy everything that she had left, and I would be the candy lady on Sundays.
I love it.
So I was born a hustler, yeah. I made my dad build me a lemonade stand, but I was selling Kool-Aid.
Gotcha.
As a matter of fact, when you asked me about being 9, when I turned 10, on my 10th birthday, my parents asked me what I wanted. And I was like, I want my own bank account. So I took all the money that I made from all of my hustles. My mom was a school teacher, so I used to resell the books that she was done with, like the Babysitter's Club, Nancy Drew novels. So the suggested U.S. retail price, I sold the books for $2 less than that. So I had the sign-up sheets that she would use to order the books. I would take them to school.
Wow.
And on Mondays, I would take everybody's order. On Fridays, I would deliver the books. So I was always selling things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope.
Young hustler. I just was always a businesswoman very early on.
Early on. That's dope. That's dope. And you actually, any siblings?
I have a brother, but he passed away when I was 18 in 1999.
Okay.
But that was my only sibling. And we were very close. He was 7 years older than me.
Gotcha.
But my brother is the reason I sing as an artist, like a professional recording artist.
Was he actually in the choir as well growing up?
He was.
Gotcha.
He loved music. He loved church. He just was very spiritual, but he really loved music. And he bought me Brandy's first CD and SWV. And I literally played those CDs till they skipped, scratched up, all of that.
Wow.
But that's how I learned how to sing.
The perfect pitch.
Yeah, I learned how to like do different things with my voice by mimicking and listening to them over and over and over and over and over and over.
Gotcha.
So yeah, those are like two of my favorite R&B staple albums. SWV's first album and Brandy's first album.
Gotcha. Did you play any sports or anything growing up?
I didn't. I was a cheerleader, but
Gotcha.
The only sport I played was just running through the mall, running up a check.
Real.
Yeah, running to the money. And that's really the most athletic ability I have.
Gotcha.
Romantic walks to the bank, stuff like that.
I love it. Hey, let me ask you this: like, what favorite subject? What was your favorite subject?
I would have to say English.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So
I'm
composition.
huge on writing, composing. My mom is an English teacher, so I had to learn like 10 new words a month. Wow. I had to know what they meant, how to use them, and I would have to like actually use them in a sentence.
So you were being groomed without even realizing.
Without even realizing. I didn't appreciate it then. I thought my mom was like being mean, and like I wanted to go play outside with my friends. She's like, what's your new word for the week?
Wow.
Run it. Let me hear it.
I love it.
All that finna, fixing to.
Right. Go ahead, out the way.
My mom was like, I don't understand that. We're not talking like that.
Respect.
But I respect it now because I'm very articulate. I can go in any room and I'm comfortable speaking. Even if I don't have, full knowledge on the subject, I'm not afraid to speak in front of anyone. I can go in a boardroom. I could be in the hood, wherever. I'm comfortable wherever I am.
Do you think that actually you drew some of that from your mom too? Being a teacher, being in front of people at all times? And
I think the articulation part of it and the desire to learn more. I just feel like I'm always a student. I always want to learn. I always want to grow. I always want to elevate. I don't, know it all. I know a little bit about a lot, but I think just naturally I always wanted to learn, and I wanted to sound learned. I never wanted to sound stupid. Like I've been in situations where I'm like, just sit down, just stop talking.
Real.
You're just burying yourself in a deeper hole.
Gotcha.
So I was always, interested in learning, and I think the expression of writing and speaking was just the way I communicated best, for sure.
Real. So let's take them on to high school. High school, were you actually writing as well? What were you doing in high school? What type of?
Again, English was something I was always really good at. I'm honestly really good at most subjects, but English was my favorite. I got to read different types of English literature, and I think I'm obsessed with how other people interpret the same sentence.
Gotcha.
So like words and how they're formulated and how it connects to people.
Right.
I think I'm more obsessed with that.
Gotcha.
So that's the part of writing that I love. Like I used to love when my teacher would read my paper, I would stand there like watching her read it to see how she was like reacting to it.
Right.
So I'm really big on like putting words together.
Which translate even today.
Yeah.
That form of expression, just like that, waiting to see how the world views it.
Exactly.
Even if it's from you or behind the scenes from you.
Right.
Real. Respect.
Yeah.
In high school, fill in the blank for your fans. In high school, I was known as the kid that...
In high school, I was known as the kid that was Miss Eunice's daughter. So my mom taught at the middle school that I went to.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So when I got to middle school, everybody in the middle school, like the older kids already knew me because the bus driver would bring me to my mom's school after she dropped off all the other kids when I was in elementary school. So by the time I got to high school, all the the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, I was like little sis. So I was little sis to everybody.
Right.
I also come from a very large family. My father is one of 14 kids, and 7 of those are men, which would be my uncles, and they were very tall and very scary. And so no boys would date me in high school because they were scared of my father and my uncles. I was cheerleading one time, and my dad and my uncles came to the game, and they sat directly behind us. So,
Right, that's right.
Like all the boys were like, "Oh no, I'm not saying anything to her." So I was just always little sis. I was always very popular.
Right.
I was also quite hated. Just for being me. Girls would be like, "Oh, she thinks she all that. Oh, she thinks she cute. Oh, she thinks she dressed nice." No, baby, that's what you think. And I am all that. But I don't think I'm better than you.
Real though.
You think I'm better than you. So that's your problem. That's none of my business.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you knew early on, and even in recent research, one of the quotes you were saying was, "I always felt like I was bigger than where I was from."
Yes.
Columbia, South Carolina. What was it like growing up there in the midst, like small town? Like I have family there as well. What small town? What did it? Big city, big dreams. You knew you were.
Well, I knew everybody. Everywhere I went, again, my father came from a really big family. It's a very well-known family. My father and my uncles, they're in construction, plumbing, electricity, painting, building, general contracting. So they built a lot of the buildings in the city.
There.
I couldn't go anywhere without somebody being like, "Oh, you're such and such daughter, or you're such and such granddaughter, or you're such and such niece." So I think I wanted to go somewhere where I could figure out who I was outside of those attachments.
Integrity.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's
so
real.
I think I was always just on the path to discovery my whole life. Like when I would see things on TV, I'm like, I want to go there. I want to do that. I want to see those people. I want to see that city in person. So I knew I wanted to go outside of where I was from, especially because everywhere I went, I knew someone. I wanted to go places where I could meet new people outside of people just knowing me because of my family or whatever. And I wanted people to connect with me based on their interaction with me, not based on the fact like, oh, I'm gonna be nice to her because I know her mom, or I know her grandmom, or I know her aunt, or her sister, or her brother. Like, I just wanted to have my own identity.
What was your first job?
I worked at Gold's Gym. I was a customer service representative.
That's what's up.
Yeah, when I was in high school. My senior year, I spent half of my school day at work.
And also being able to see everybody from the community as well.
Yeah, again.
Right.
Very much
That's
so.
real. That's real.
I could never escape. And I couldn't do anything bad either. I had to be like a good girl. Goody two shoes was my nickname.
Real.
Because I was like, baby, I'm not getting beat on the way home and when I get home. So I'm minding my business.
Real.
I'm on my best behavior at all times.
That's real.
Because I don't know who watching.
Come on, that's real.
Because somebody in here know my grandmother.
That's right. That's right.
Granny ain't gonna come for me because y'all want me to do bad things. So yeah.
And you was still in the church while all through high school as well? Awesome. And you actually were you in the chorus in high school?
I was.
Gotcha. Come on, that's dope.
In middle school, so my chorus and it was called the Cavalier Chorale.
Gotcha.
But it was a really big deal in my town. And they held auditions. Like they would come to the middle school to audition the 8th graders who were coming to the 9th grade.
School, right.
So when they came, we had to sing. They gave us 2 songs to sing. I think it was America the Beautiful. I think that's the name of the song.
Gotcha.
Oh, beautiful for gracious skies, amber waves of gray, or purple mountain majesties of other.
Go ahead now. Yes,
yeah, that.
Yes.
So I did it my way.
Gotcha.
And my teacher was like, his name was Mr. Dunsing. And Mr. Dunsing was a little crazy, but he was cool. He was a musical like genius.
Right.
But he was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that to come out of your mouth.
Wow.
So he was like, when I heard you talk, I knew that you had a clear voice, a clear speaking voice, but he was like, I had no idea, you had such power in your voice.
Wow.
So I mean, he basically told me I made it without telling me I made it because they had like callbacks and they had to like let you know and email your parents or whatever, send a letter. And so I knew when the letter came, it was saying that I was going to be, accepted into the Cavalier Chorale. So that was a big deal at the time. And it helped like groom my voice. It helped me perfect my sound for sure.
So from there, from high school, you went on to Howard.
I did. The real HU, for anyone out there wondering.
Go ahead now. What was your actual...
You may wonder where I've been.
What was your major?
I started out as a biology pre-med major.
Gotcha.
I wanted to be a pediatrician real bad.
Gotcha.
And then I discovered that I had to go to school for like 12 more years after that. So I was like, oh, never mind. I was just playing. So I ended up changing my major to business marketing.
Gotcha.
Because I felt like if I wanted to work in the medical field or any field, entertainment, whatever, every industry requires some type of marketing.
Absolutely. So, that's my degree as well.
Marketing. Oh, awesome. So it gave me an opportunity to just do whatever I wanted.
Real, absolutely. Yeah. That's dope. So from there in college, Howard, what were you learning about yourself in college?
I was honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. The first year, I was completely confused.
Gotcha.
You know, you spend your whole life, your parents waking you up for school, telling you who you should be, what you should do, what time you have to be back home, who you can hang out with, who you can't. So I went from rules to no rules. So I woke up every day like, obviously I have to go to class, but after class, like, what do I do now?
Gotcha.
So I felt a little lost my first year of school.
Makes sense. That makes sense though. You was, in a sense, you know, you took that step, took that leap, you know, like, oh, I'm getting away from, you know, but you still was, that integrity you had didn't allow you to do certain things because you kept that with you.
For sure. I just was, I was definitely living in the moment more then. So if I could go back in time or if I could take anything from the past and bring it to today, I would love to have that same sense of like inquisitiveness and living in the moment and not being so hard on myself and so critical about every decision that I made or not overthinking things so much.
Real. I
really was more free, but I was lost.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just didn't know who you were.
I didn't.
Just trying to really figure it out.
I was trying to figure out who is Torica, not who is Torica expected to be, who is Torica's parents, you know, requiring her to be, who are Torica's friends wanting her to be, you know, who are Torica's relatives requiring her to be, who is Torica at church, who is Torica, you know, hanging out, who is Torica by herself, who is Torica as a sibling. I was just so many different things to so many people. I didn't know who I was and what I wanted.
Makes sense.
So I spent that whole year just figuring it out.
In limbo, and I'm pretty sure your parents, everybody was like, you know, find a church when you get down there, you know, just like me, find a church, you know, just like that. But I know how that goes for sure.
They were definitely trying to continue guiding me, and they didn't mean anything by it.
Right,
but
no, the best.
I just think that me going to college was a great thing for me. And, you know, not to get too deep or emotional, but my brother was sick when I was in school. So he passed away while I was in college. And I think with him being sick, like throughout my high school career, I just needed to get away from like being in that environment and seeing him like that and like not being able to do anything about it. I think that was also like an escape for me too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And was he still in Colombia during this time?
Yeah, he was. Yep, so I had to leave him and that was the last time I saw him alive. So I never got to see my brother again by going away. And I think he like sent me away so that I wouldn't have to see that. So it was like a gift and a curse for me. I think he knew that I wouldn't see him again, and he really pushed me to go because I didn't want to leave. And I'm glad that I did, but it also made me sad to like not be there, you know, with him. So.
Let me get you a tissue, sis.
Thank you. Thank you. I even cry cute. Listen, she is never gonna be doing an ugly cry unless we on Oprah, honey.
Man.
If I go viral for crying, I gotta be on Oprah.
Sis, you are.
For sure. Am I still cute, y'all?
You are.
Yes, honey. No, but seriously, I think that, you know, having that experience in school was so good for me. And it prepared me to like come to Atlanta. Like on my own without, much. I didn't have any family here. Like, I had a couple of friends here, but, I just encourage people to, like, step outside of the box. Like, don't be scared to move. Don't wait on anybody. Don't worry about what they're going to say. Don't worry about what they're going to think or how you're going to be perceived. We have to find our own way. And I really try to, like, parent my kids that way, too.
Right.
Like, I'm not an overbearing mom. I've always just wanted to allow my kids the freedom to decide who they want to be, what they want to do, without having all of these identities and attachments and associations and pressures of, like, performing, meeting up to these standards and these expectations. Because a lot of times, parents don't realize it, but you're pushing your kids to disappoint themselves because they're not living up to what you want them to be.
Wow.
So I think, again, I don't think my family had any ill intent with that, but sometimes, like, black parents, like, black families, y'all just be too much. Like, y'all could be too much.
Real.
Y'all put too much on us. So, and I can attest to the fact that a lot of the girls who were in, like, private school or boarding school that were from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, places like that, they live fairly sheltered. Their parents were really strict.
Gotcha.
Baby, when they got to school, they was wilding. Like, I was like, oh my.
Right.
I'm a little scared.
No, I believe it.
But that's because they didn't have freedom. And when they got their first taste of it, they didn't know how to handle it. Like,
they were ready to buck on the system. They was ready to.
They were trying to find themselves in the wrong way.
Gotcha.
But I can't judge them for the way they were discovering themselves. But they were on. There was some destructive behavior going on.
Gotcha.
And I don't think it was purposeful. It was just like when you let a wild animal out of a cage, they're just gonna go crazy.
Right.
They're not gonna know what to do because you've kept them trapped. So, I just hope that more parents, and I see this a lot on Instagram. People like sharing their parenting advice or techniques. So I see a lot of gentle parenting, that phrase is being tossed around. And I can appreciate that because I feel like that's the way we should be approached as children. Like, our parents shouldn't be coming at us like, it should be like,
absolutely.
Let's see what you want to do. Who are you?
Absolutely.
What do you like? How was your day? What did you not like about your day? How can you make your day better tomorrow? Like, if that was more of the approach versus how was school? Okay, you got good grades. Did you behave?
Cutter.
Did you get in trouble?
Absolutely.
Okay. And that was it. Like, there's really no emotion behind that. And there's nobody asking, like, how the kid feels. So that's why you have a lot of adults who don't know how to emotionally navigate.
Absolutely.
Because we weren't allowed to have our own feelings. Having feelings meant you were being disrespectful, you were talking back, you were being sassy, you were being whatever. But it's like, no, I'm expressing myself. I can be angry with what you're saying. I'm going to still be respectful, but I cannot like what you're saying, and I need to be able to express that.
Real.
But we weren't really allowed to do that growing up.
Do you feel free right now?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Do you feel
Very much
limitless?
so. I feel limitless, yeah. I feel like there's nothing I can't do because I'm kind of in a transitional space in my life. And, I've had everything and I've had nothing. I've had a little bit, I've had a lot. And I realized that none of that stuff really means anything if you don't know who you are.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Torica, have you always felt like you was born for music entertainment?
I was always born to be a music star, yes. Yeah.
Let's take this transition to Atlanta.
Okay. I'm gonna get off live.
Of course, gotcha.
I'll talk to y'all later.
How do we get to Atlanta? What struck that next move? Because 75% of people who went off would have came back to Columbia. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you go back to your comfort zone?
Because I had discovered who I was somewhat, and I felt like if I had gone back to where I came from, the people who are still stuck with not knowing who they are were going to try and influence me to go back to where I was and where I didn't want to be. And I knew everybody already. So what am I going back there for? I can pick up the phone, and some of these people still have the same landline phone number that they've had since I was in like kindergarten. So I'm all about growth, elevation, enhancement, being better, improving. That's just always been my mindset. My mom always used to say, there's always room for improvement. No one's perfect. You don't know everything. And I used to think, like, why doesn't she apply this methodology to how she parents me? Because you don't know everything. And so when I buck on you, you like, oh, I'm the adult. And I'm like, but you don't know everything. You just told me everybody can improve.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just think like, I think I would have undone all the work that I did if I had gone back home.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You weren't ready to retract.
No. California, earthquakes. Miami, hurricanes. Houston,
exactly.
too humid. New York, too cold in winter. So Atlanta was where it was at for me.
Yeah. Do y'all hear that? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Real. So now Atlanta is your home.
Yes.
And has been.
For 22 years, yes.
Real. So you are from Atlanta, for sure.
I'm honorary peach.
Come on
Hey,
now.
shouty.
Come on now. That's real.
803 raised me, 404 pays me. You
That's
feel
real,
me?
sis,
And
real.
770 and 678. No playing with me.
Come on,
I want all the checks from all the area
right.
codes.
It's real. Do you make trips back to Colombia often?
Not often. I have
Everybody
been back
comes here?
periodically, but I've grown distant from my family, to be honest with you.
Okay.
A lot of things transpired, like growing up, that I just didn't really like or appreciate, and we just grew apart. Like, a lot of them didn't elevate. They just did the predictable cookie cutter 9 to 5 thing, and that's cool. I'm not knocking them for that. That just wasn't for me. And I felt like, you know, if I'm going to grow, I need to be around people that are doing more than me, that know more than me, that have more money than me, that are more successful than I am, that can help me get to the next level. So I can't get to the next level with people that are doing things that are not even on the level I'm doing them on.
Wow.
And that's no shade, again,
It's
to anybody.
not.
It's just
not.
my journey. My goal is to grow and to elevate. And I can't do that. I feel like every time I'm reaching back, I'm not pulling up.
The comparison. Two things. People say either, they're hot air balloons or they're weights around your leg. There's two type of people in life. Mm-hmm. Then also, one of my favorite quotes is, you could be great or you could be safe.
Yeah.
You can't be both.
Can't be both.
Come on, it's real.
Can't be great if you don't get started.
You get to Atlanta, and I may be skipping some things, but you meet Jazzy Pha. Mm-hmm. At this time, did you move from Howard? Were you specifically coming to pursue your music career?
Yeah,
gotcha.
I was.
Come on, gotcha.
For sure.
So
I knew that this was a progressive black city.
Absolutely.
I knew there were a lot of successful black people.
That's right.
I had been to Atlanta before. When I was in high school, some guys that I grew up with, they were like my big brothers. We came here for Budweiser Superfest.
Gotcha.
Who was on that? It was the whole Bad Boy family.
Gotcha.
It was
Classic.
R. Kelly, Kelly Price, Lil Kim, Biggie, everybody. So we came here, I think that was like 1996. That's when the Gentleman's Club was on Baker Street.
Gotcha.
Andrew Young, I think, was the mayor at the time.
Gotcha.
That's how far back it was.
Right, real.
So 112 was on Cheshire Bridge, and you had to have a membership card to get in.
Wow.
Like, that's how
real
Atlanta it was.
The Braves won the World Series that year, too.
Yeah, I think so.
It
Yep.
was turned up.
Yep.
Real.
So it was the year after the Olympics.
Gotcha.
It was 97.
97 then.
96,
Yep,
97.
so 97 then.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that summer. And so I came here and I was blown away because I had never seen so many black people in Mercedes and Range Rovers and Bentleys and Rolls Royces. And I'm like,
what is going on?
where I'm from, you'll see this, but it's very rare. And if you see it, it's usually somebody white driving.
Gotcha.
So Atlanta was the first city that I discovered that you can be a black CEO. Like, oh, okay.
Wow.
And this is only 3 hours from where I live. So this is where I want to be when I get, when I become an adult.
Right.
So that was then. So I already saw the vision then. And,
Gotcha.
and then by the time I obviously got out of college, Atlanta had progressed light years past that.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, so I met Jazzy. It was a chance encounter through a former roommate of mine. She ended up being my road manager at the time.
Okay.
And
Was she into the music as well?
Mm-hmm, she was a booking agent.
Okay, nice.
So she used to book artists to do shows in different markets.
Dope.
She based her research off of their radio spins. So she would watch the BDS reports.
Right.
And whatever markets they were performing well in, she would contact the promoters in those markets and say, hey, I have such and such. They're going to be coming, to a city near you.
Dope.
Would you like to book them to host something? Da, da, da. So I actually learned a lot from her from that process.
Dope. Yeah, definitely. About 30 seconds of your time. I really appreciate your support. With every interview, my aim is to bring integrity and fun back to the culture. And I can't do it without you. If you're enjoying this episode, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. I appreciate you. Back to the interview.
She took me to the studio. I met Jazzy. I actually met, okay, this is crazy. I went to Noontime. Shout out to Noonie. This is my big bro from Richmond, California. I met Noonie, Ryan Glover, Polo the Don. He was in Jim Crow at the time. Cuddy, rest in peace to Cuddy. There's another member of Jim Crow. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he was super cool.
Gotcha.
Jazzy Pha had a room across the hall from Jim Crow.
Right.
Because Jim Crow was signed at Noontime. So they would always be in this Studio A, recording, making new songs or whatever. So Studio A, then Studio C was Jazzy across the hall. Studio B was Brian Michael Cox.
Classic.
And Studio D was Teddy Bishop.
Wow.
So I met all of them at the same time.
Wow.
And the first song I did, the first song I wrote to, Brian Michael Cox produced it, but it was a Jim Crow song. But B. Cox was nowhere near, where he is now.
You watched, this is on his climb.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew all of them when they were at the ground level. So I ended up, meeting Jazzy. He heard the song I was working on with them, and he was like, I have some work for you. I'll just, let's exchange numbers.
Right.
We exchanged numbers. About a month later, he called me and said, I have this rap duo that's signed to Geffen and MCA, and I think your voice would sound dope, collaborating. So I was like, okay, cool. I go to the studio. I meet Phil Ma. We're working on this song. We're talking, and we come up with a concept, and I can't remember who came up with the melody, but they were like, do you think you can sing this key? And I was like, yeah, that's easy.
Right.
I cut that hook in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
And that changed my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is Phil Mob's breakthrough song.
It's their biggest record to date. It's actually,
this was
I
nominated.
think we're approaching platinum. We're at 700,000 sold the last time I checked.
Wow.
Last time that I checked.
Right.
Last time that I checked.
How does that work now with the current, as it transitions from physical copies
to streaming only?
Yes, because it probably already
I'm
has.
still getting airplay, so I'm still getting mechanical royalties. Wow. I'm still getting, airplay from satellite radio to terrestrial radio. For those who don't know what terrestrial radio is, that's like Hot 107.9, 94.5.
That's right.
Digital radio is performing really well.
Wow.
Every club I go to, the DJs are still playing that song. So I'm very grateful to that song. It changed the trajectory of my life. It, jump-started my music career. It got me recognition from, executives, producers, writers, big names like notables, Grammy award-winning, multiple award nominations. Like, these are people that I admired who now knew who I was and who were approaching me and introducing themselves to me and knew me by name. And I'm like,
wow.
You know me?
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Clutch. So explain these members. We got Carrie Hilson, Sean Garrett. Who all do we have in Clutch?
Okay, Sean wasn't in the Clutch, but it was Carrie Hilson, a young lady named Candace, who is a phenomenal singer, J.Q. Smith, and Zeke, Ezekiel Lewis, but he goes by Zeke.
Okay.
So, rest in peace to Shakir Stewart. He was one of my mentors very early on in my career. He put me in the studio with Sean Garrett, and he taught me to observe and learn how to write like an industry format song.
Wow.
So Shakir used to run Hitco, which was L.A. Reid's publishing company / studio, which was right off of Howell Mill, right off of 17th Street. And Hannah Kang used to be the studio manager. Wow. So again, I met all of these people right at the cusp of their careers before they exploded and went on to do other things. And
they were primarily writers or producers?
Writers.
Right. Wow.
JQ could produce, but he wasn't like a producer, so to speak. Like, people wouldn't come to him for tracks, but they knew that he could produce a record. Like, he would get with the producer and say, oh, make the sound.
Like Kanye.
Yeah,
which happens to be your favorite producer.
Correct. Yes, for sure.
Real.
You really do your research. I love that.
Come on, sis.
I love that for me. I love that for you as well. So I was in the studio working with, I was actually in the hallway, and I was writing on a song, and I was just like humming the melody, and Zeke was there, and he was like, that was you singing? I was like, yeah. So Shakir introduced us, and he was like, well, I have a bunch of records that, Carrie's not always around to record, and neither is Candace. Candace lived in LA at the time, so it became difficult for them to like get females to demo their records.
Right.
because Zeke would do it, but he's a male and he's trying to sing in a female voice. He had to put hella auto-tune on his voice and sing high and do all this stuff.
Right.
So they could do the job to like demo the song, but they were like, it'll be easier to shop the records if they can hear a female singing it, if it's an actual song for a girl.
Exactly.
So I was like, all right, cool. So he was like, let's exchange numbers again. Atlanta is a right place, right time kind of city. So I just happened to be in the right places at the right time then. And he was like, he hit me up maybe a couple of weeks later, like, I got some work for you. Can you meet me at the studio? Hell yeah. I go to the studio. We were working on a track for Tierra Marie. She has a song called New Shit.
Wow.
I'm some of my backgrounds are in that song. I can hear my voice.
Wow.
Yeah, and I wrote some lyrics on the record, but that's actually a really dope song. I don't know why the label didn't make it a single.
Is it a lot of politics involved?
A lot of politics. Back then, it's completely different from how it is now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Back then, it was more of, so there's this list that record labels used to send out to all of the publishing companies and all of the songwriters that were major songwriters.
Gotcha.
And, I was privy to the list because of the people that I was working with.
Right.
So they would be like, okay, we want a song for Mariah Carey that sounds like Fantasia, but has the vibe of Mary J. Blige. What?
Gotcha.
You want what? That's not even, what are y'all talking about? I don't even know what you mean. Like how to even approach creating that. But labels used to have a very specific way of like explaining what they wanted without knowing what they wanted.
Gotcha.
So basically y'all don't know what y'all want is what y'all saying.
Wow.
Like they would know what they wanted when they heard it. So you could send 100 songs for placement, but they might pick one.
Gotcha. I heard in a previous interview you saying that's how it is. It's like, you're lucky if you get through the doors with one.
It's a hurry up and wait game because they're like, oh, we're trying to wrap this project up. And then you send it off and you don't hear anything for 6 months. They're like, oh, it's going to be their next single on their album that's dropping in 6 more months. You're like, oh, okay.
Real.
So music is much like I attribute it to sports. So how coaches tell athletes, you can't have a memory. You can't remember the game you lost. You can't go into the next game remembering the game you lost. Sense. So as a writer, I had to learn to stop seeking the result of the song that I sent out. Like just start working on the next song.
Gotcha.
Whatever that song is going to do is going to do it. You asking about it every day is not going to change it getting placed.
Real.
So I had to learn that though, because I was just like the kid running to the mailbox looking for the present from somebody that said they were sending something.
Gotcha.
So,
and how did that work? Did you actually... Production-wise, producers, did they come to you with production or did you seek them or was it more of a 50-50? How did it work when
producers,
you're shopping?
Again, doing things in the music business in the traditional sense, before social media, again, right place, right time, word of mouth. People would say, oh, I know somebody. Oh, you need a writer? Oh, I know this dope girl. She can sing too, so she can demo the song. Because a lot of writers, people will be surprised, a lot of songwriters can't sing. So they usually have to find a singer to sing the song that they wrote in order to like pitch it.
Gotcha.
Because some labels, they can hear past the bad vocals, but a writer would rather just send the song off sounding like something.
I'm not picking on anyone, but I'm just saying, like the Dream. He was not necessarily
He's not the strongest singer, but he's a great writer.
Great writer. And he just, gotcha. Just like that. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Wow.
Even like, are you familiar with Big Love Jasper?
I'm not.
That's his Instagram handle, but his name is Jasper Cameron. Shout out to Jasper, that's my bro. He's a dope writer. He wrote a lot of songs for Lloyd, Ashanti.
Gotcha.
He has a huge discography. I think he's written for Trey Songz. He's written for a lot of people.
Gotcha.
But Jasper's not the strongest singer, but he can get the point across.
Right.
But when it came to like doing a female record, it was much more difficult. So I would demo songs for him.
Gotcha.
I demoed songs I recorded at Dallas Austin studio, Patchwork. I recorded in the same booth as Janet Jackson, Beyonce, like Mariah Carey. So I'm in the rooms where the legendary music was made.
Wow.
So I really have mastered the art of recording, and I learned that from my experience. But a lot of producers would just hit me up. They'll just get my phone number from somebody, and they'll hit me like, hey. They might text me or call me and say, hey, I got this track I'm working on. Can you come to the studio?
Gotcha.
I almost signed a publishing deal with Akon. I used to do a lot of... I was the first writer, actually, to write over Polo the Don's beats.
Wow.
When he first started producing.
Really?
Yes. And we were working on some stuff for Truth Hurts. And we were on Skype. This is how old this
Gotcha.
is. We were on Skype.
Gotcha.
And he was like, oh, I need to Skype somebody real quick to let them hear what we're doing. And I was like, all right, cool. So we're in the studio and we're working on this song for Truth Hurts. And Polo gets on the Skype and it's Dr. Dre. I'm like, You didn't tell me you were Skyping Dr. Dre. Like, I would have done my hair. I would have put on some lipstick or something. So I'm just sitting here like, oh my God, like I'm talking to Dr. Dre.
This the company I'm in.
Like, yeah. And a lot of people don't know this, but Polo the Don is cousins with Monica. That's their cousins. They're actually like blood cousins.
Wow.
So I did a song for Monica. She loved it. She recorded it. It never came out. It wasn't released. The label didn't pick it up. But yeah, that was my first time actually working with her. And, you know, Polo and I have a storied history, and that's my bro. So
real.
I respect him because I learned a lot about myself as a writer. Working with him, he pushed me. He was like, I think you can be more creative. I think you can come from a different angle, like try it again. So he taught me like that resilience and like that persistence. That's right. For sure.
Is it hard as a writer to have that type of feedback come to you when you're a creative and it's easy to, is it because of someone who's respected?
No, I just think that, again, like I said earlier, I've always been a student. I always want to grow. I always want to be better. I always want to learn. I don't know it all. And he and I were kind of learning as we went along, but I feel like men are have a good ear for music. And I'm like, if a man is telling you to sing something differently, it's because most men will be like, oh yeah, all that shit sound good.
Gotcha.
But he just wanted me to be the best at what I was doing. So, and I knew that's where it was coming from. Now, if I feel like somebody's just hating and they're just trying to overly criticize what I'm doing, I'm gonna be like, okay, girl, okay.
Gotcha.
You know it too much.
Real.
But I knew that he really just wanted me to be better and be the best at what I was doing. So I could respect it.
Respect.
Yeah.
How do we get to A Beautiful Mess?
Oh, wow.
Your debut studio album. How do we get there from the writer now to the front runner? How does that go?
I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the songs that I was demoing, the record labels, the feedback we were getting was, you're singing them too good.
What?
Integrity.
What?
Yeah, they were like, the artists, when they go in the studio and record, like we would send them the song, send them the session, and they would go cut it, like Zeke or JQ. Zeke and JQ are more of the boots on the ground as far as the clutch. Like they would be the person you would go to like coordinate the session, coordinate getting the song recorded, vocal producing. So, you know, Carrie may write, but she might not be present when the song's being cut by whoever they're shopping it to.
Gotcha.
So Zeke and JQ are like the glue.
Wow.
So JQ might be in LA recording with somebody, Zeke might be in New York or Miami recording with somebody, or in Atlanta. So Zeke was like, yeah, I'm about to go to New York and cut these records. And he's like, bro, they're not coming out right. They don't sound right. The label's like, we want it to sound like this. And it sounds like this.
Wow.
So a lot of the songs we didn't get placed. Some of them did get placed because I sang them so closely to how the artist sounds, but some of them didn't get placed because they were like, the artists that they signed didn't sound good. I'm like, well, why are y'all signing these people? Just sign me. Duh. Hello. But, you know, politics.
You mentioned before that because you were a chameleon, you was able to sound like others.
Yeah.
Sometimes that affected your ability.
That definitely hurt me because then I lost my sound. I didn't have a sound. I got so accustomed to, because, you know, your vocal cords are a muscle. Just like an athlete has muscles, it's muscle memory.
That's right.
Your vocal cords have muscle memory. So there were some limitations that my brain was putting on my voice because I was so accustomed to singing within the ranges of these 10 people.
Gotcha.
So I had to find my sound.
Do you think, I'm thinking about your favorite producer, Kanye West, Love Lockdown, Carrie Hilson. She came out as a singer, started off as a writer. Was she shopping as well as a vocalist as well?
I think Carrie's success as an artist came about because Polo pushed for her to be an artist.
Gotcha.
You know, Polo and Timberland are like this.
Yes, gotcha.
So, you know, after she had some success as a songwriter, of course, people were like, well, who's this girl singing? And then, of course, her voice was heard at all these different labels of, you know, artists that they were being shopped to. But at first, nobody was really paying attention. But then over time, the industry is a long game. It's a marathon.
Gotcha.
It's about consistency. So the more songs they started hearing Carrie demo and then they got placed and now they're performing well, they're like,
Neo.
What does she look like? Send us some pictures. Now they're like, oh, she's pretty. Okay, let's see if she can make some music on her own. Send us some songs that she cut that you guys aren't shopping. And then that led to her, a lot of people don't know, but Carrie was in a R&B group, a girl group called Pretty Tony.
Gotcha.
One of the girls got pregnant and Dent was at the time, that was his group. And they were signed to Sony. And Dent somehow, I don't know how we got introduced, but someone introduced us and heard that I could sing. So I went to Puritan Mill Lofts where his studio was at the time.
Gotcha.
And we were in the hallway just talking, and he was like, sing something for me. And I sang, and the acoustics in the hallway were amazing because it was like
Right.
all concrete. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
Gotcha.
I sang, and he was like, wow, like your voice is dope. Like it's clear as hell. So he was like, well, I have an opportunity for you to be in the group. I want you to come to the studio. I went, me and Carrie sat down. We talked about it. It ended up not working out because Sony ended up dropping the group before I had a chance to like be in the group. But I was almost in a group with Carrie
Gotcha.
Hilson and this other young lady.
Was it a one studio album type deal?
I think they never even got to
Oh, wow.
put their album out.
Wow.
They were like in the process of
It's that
finishing
much
it.
politics in the industry to where
Mm-hmm.
you can get signed and it doesn't even come to fruition.
No. It's that much politics. That's how it is. So yeah, I just think that Carrie's success came from Polo believing in her as a songwriter, and he believed in her as an artist. I mean, at the end of the day, being a songwriter is being an artist. It's the art of
Absolutely.
songwriting. That's a
Absolutely.
form of
That's
art. Being a
right.
producer
That's
is
right.
being an artist. You know, being an executive is being an artist
That's
because
right.
you're having to creatively
Curate everything.
curate
from-
everything. So, you know, we're all artists in our own way, shape, or form. But as far as singers are concerned, you know, back then it was all about how you looked. You had to be the
Gotcha.
whole package. You had to be a certain size, a certain skin tone. Your boobs had to be a certain size.
Wow.
Your eyes had to be a certain color. Your hair had to be a certain length. You know, there is so much that goes into it as far as female artists are concerned. And Polo was like, look, let's make an album. Made an album, and then he collaborated with Timbaland on some songs. And he took her to Timbaland and was like, bro, we need to like put this out.
Gotcha.
And that's how she became an artist.
Wow. Just like that.
Yeah. But it seemed just like that to us. But she had been working for about
Right. A
six
decade.
to 8 years
Gotcha.
before she became Carrie Hilson that everybody knows her as.
Like Neo.
Correct.
Just like Neo.
Yep.
Gotcha. So from there,
I used to call myself the female Neo.
real.
That's so funny.
Come on, that's
I actually
real.
recorded
though.
at his studio a few times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you a beautiful, beautiful mess.
A beautiful mess.
This
Yes.
actually, so number one, why the title?
Because it just described me at the time. I always thought there was beauty in the discovery of the mess. Like,
Chaos.
you know, we're all a work in progress, and I felt like there are beautiful parts about my life, and then there are messy parts. So
Right.
it just came to me, and it just felt natural, and that's just the title I felt
Real.
like represented and signified who I was. It was really just about accepting who you are, loving yourself as you are, flaws and all.
Real.
Yeah.
Respect. What was that? How was that reception? How was everything? Now that's your breakthrough. How did you feel as lead artist? How does that feel?
It was nerve-wracking,
Gotcha.
but it was very empowering to be able to say, this is my voice. I've created this sound.
right.
I wrote all of these songs.
Wow.
I pretty much executive produced my project because I picked the beats.
Go ahead.
I knew the message I wanted to send. I wanted to tell somewhat of a cohesive story. I knew the subject matter I wanted to sing about. Some of the songs were songs that didn't get shopped to other artists, but like I had a song called These Shoes, and I originally pitched that song to J-Lo. I had a whole video treatment for it and everything.
Wow.
I actually did another song for J-Lo that Brian Michael Cox produced, and somehow someone leaked it to YouTube. And right before she was about to record it, Sony said, we're not recording it because it's been leaked.
Wow.
So that's happened a lot as well. So that's a whole nother side of it that people
Wow.
don't understand as a songwriter you have to go through. But back to A Beautiful Mess. So I wrote that song for her, ended up keeping it for myself. It's some bops on that album for sure. Yeah. I really put my heart into that album. And I don't think those are the best songs I've ever made, but they were the most authentic to my experience at the time.
At that time.
Yeah.
Real. And just like Kanye, you said the same thing, which your favorite producer, he said, you know, majority of the beats, college dropout, these things are beats I shopped.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't want them. Just like you said, like they came back to me, back to my debut album.
Yep.
They were good enough. This is what it is, but that's part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So moving forward, after this reception, I think you spoke on taking some time away.
Mm-hmm.
What caused that?
I think I was just burnt out. I suffer from overwhelm. Again, I bite off more than I can chew sometimes. And, this business is very cutthroat.
Absolutely.
It's very difficult. It's it's centered around rejection, around people saying no, around people judging you, no matter what people say. If you're in the entertainment industry, no matter what facet of the industry, you are being judged, period. They're judging how you look, how you sound. They're judging everything, what you have on, how you speak, how you walk, how you talk, decisions you make, who you date, who you don't,
Wow.
who you love, who you don't. Everything is being judged, analyzed, scrutinized. And even more so now with social media, it's like now you can hear the judgments.
Gotcha. Wow.
In my era of music before social media, a lot of these judgments were being, and these conversations were being had behind closed doors.
Gotcha.
So you might not know why things aren't happening a certain way, but people are talking.
Right.
Conversations are being
Gotcha.
had. So I just got tired of hearing no so much. And I was like, before I start questioning who I am and making sure that I don't lose my belief in myself, my confidence, or my love for this.
Right.
Because the business of it, I don't love. Let me just take a hiatus. Let me step away. Not completely, but let me just take some steps back so I can reconnect. Let me disconnect so I can connect.
Gotcha. Sometimes get away to make a way.
Correct.
Sometimes you have to. It's a fact. Just
You have
step
to.
back.
Sometimes you have to lose your way to find your way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Real. Like you sometimes we see it from an owl's view. Sometimes we need to sit back from an eagle's view and just like, okay, all right. But
Exactly.
That's real. Respect.
Yeah.
So during this time, this motherhood, what takes place during this time? Business, entrepreneurship.
So my son, by the time I made A Beautiful Mess, my son that was in 2012. So my son was 9 years old.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
So I was already a mom. I was already taking.
So
My son was in the studio with me when he was like 6 months old. I remember I was recording with Hit Boy, and my son was like probably 8 months old.
Gotcha.
And I had him on my hip. I'm in the booth recording, but he's like, like making little noises. So I'm like, shh, quiet. You can't sing with mommy. He's like singing with me. So Hit Boy's like, he can sit out here with me. So he's sitting on Hit Boy's lap. He gave him a little keyboard to press, and he was just out there doing this, and I'm recording. And when I was leaving the studio, it's so funny. I was recording at Zach Studios. It's called Astro now. But when I was leaving the studio, I had my son's car seat, my Gucci book bag, diaper bag, and Tank is like walking through the hallway, and he's like, "Let me get that for you." So he grabs the car seat, he grabs the book bag. He's like, "Go ahead, I got you. I'm gonna help you put him in the car." And he was like, "I don't know you. I don't know what you do." He was like, "But the fact that you have your son in the studio," he was like, "I have the utmost respect for you." He was like, "You are the epitome of not giving up and going hard." And he was like, "Keep going. I'm so proud of you. I don't even know you, but I'm proud of you." And I was like, "Wow, thank you." So I was like, that was such a motivational push that I needed at the time. And so when it came to A Beautiful Mess, I was already working. I was burning the candle on both ends.
Gotcha.
I'm also a single mom. I'm trying to do my music. I'm trying to go here, do this. It was just a lot going on. And I recorded the album primarily in New York. I moved to New York in 2010.
Gotcha.
And I lived there until 2012. So my son was still in Atlanta. I didn't want to take him out of school, uproot him from his life. But I came back here, and I just needed to kind of regroup and get back to like my life here. I kept my place here, so I never, I planted roots here, and Atlanta was going to be home regardless of wherever else I lived. So I just needed that time to just get back to me.
Real.
Because I got so caught up in like what I was doing was becoming who I was. So I wanted to get back to more of who I was and separate what I was doing from that.
Real.
Yeah.
You mentioned in a previous interview about putting yourself first. Motherhood, music, everything. You was like, no, and this one time in my life, I need to put me first.
Yeah, I thought like when I became a mom, the first time, I thought, oh, my son comes first. My son comes first. I didn't know. I was young. I was 23 when I had my son. So, I just poured everything into doing things for him. But in doing that, I was losing me. And so now that I'm a mom again, my daughters are 6 years old. I have twin daughters.
That's right.
I decided this time to be very intentional about the way I approached motherhood this time. And this time I said, I have to put me first in order to be the best version for them. And a lot of women don't do that. We don't know that, and we feel guilty about that, but we really shouldn't. But also there's no one telling us to do that.
Gotcha.
We're doing what we've seen. And that's really, I can't tell another woman how to raise her kids or how to conduct herself as a mother, but I encourage women to put yourself first.
Real.
If you don't take care of you, you're going to have less patience.
Go ahead.
You're going to be tired. You're going to be frustrated. You may lose your temper with your children. You may not enjoy being a mom as much because you're so exhausted and overwhelmed. And if you don't take time out for you, you're not going to be the best mother that you can be.
Wow.
And that's really just
Integrity.
speaking from experience.
Real.
Yeah.
A lot of women watching will definitely honor, respect, and hold that dear.
I actually apologized to my son because I told him I wasn't the best mother that I could be for you because I wasn't being the best woman to myself.
Wow.
And he accepted my apology. So
Integrity.
yeah.
Real.
So I didn't want to repeat that with my daughters.
That's the ultimate respect. Respect.
Thank
sure.
you. I mean, I still make mistakes.
You're human.
I'm still a work in progress in that respect. But when I catch myself doing too much, I stop and say, hold on. Does this benefit Torica?
Go ahead.
Does this help Torica? Does this enhance her life? Does this add to her life? Does this help elevate her? And then I have to backpedal and say, no, it doesn't. So let me stop going in that direction. Let me turn around. Let me make a U-turn.
Self-examine.
Yeah.
Often.
I do that a lot, for sure.
Are you really hard on yourself?
Very much, yeah.
Most creatives are. I
I
ask
am.
that question every interview.
I'm a perfectionist
Real.
when it comes to creativity, yeah.
You're not stagnant and you don't believe in you could win a Grammy tomorrow and still be right back in the booth the next
I want
day.
10 more.
Integrity.
Real.
They don't think I want a Grammy. They don't think I want a Grammy.
Real. Let me ask you this. Would you sign with a major? Everything given that you know now these days.
Absolutely, because
Come
I know
on
who
now.
I am as
know-
an artist now.
Go ahead.
So they can't dictate me. I always say, if I was signed before, it would have ended very badly because I would have allowed them to tell me who I was. So that I attribute my journey as taking the stairs versus the elevator. I had opportunities I've gotten on the elevator, but I was like, oh no, take me back down. Let me get off of this.
It's real.
This is not the pace
Integrity.
I want to operate at.
Real.
So, I've turned down opportunities that they just didn't feel good. They didn't feel right. And I know a lot of people make decisions out of desperation, and I never wanted to do that. So the only deal I ever signed was my publishing deal. I have a co-publishing deal with Brian Michael Cox and Warner Chappell.
Awesome. That's what's up.
Jay-Z and Beyonce are both Warner Chappell published, so I'm in good company.
Come on
Don't
now.
play with
Come
me.
on, don't play with
Do
us.
your research, honey. Get
real.
into it.
That's
Okay.
real. That's real.
Still a girl.
How does that feel? To know that that's the company you are.
It's kind of like surreal. Like it's like 6 degrees of separation.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
What
So
currently?
it's like I'm right there. I'm on the other side of the fence. I can see everything. I can reach it. I'm just not there yet.
What currently drives you in 2024?
I think what drives me the most is I know people are watching that look up to me and that I'm motivating and inspiring them. And I really want to be what I needed when I was looking for motivation and inspiration.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that really drives me. Another thing is I really want what I'm doing to pay off so that my kids feel that any sacrifices I made
Go ahead.
from them or anything that I wasn't able to do for them, that this was worth it.
Payoff.
And it will show them that, it's worthwhile to find out who you are and go after that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Real. It doesn't matter if you're a military man overseas.
correct.
You want to know what you did being away from your family, whatever it was, has a payoff. It's understood. Sacrifice. That's real.
Yep.
Real. Let me ask you this. Dating back a year, what's something you learned about yourself?
I learned that I don't need as much as I thought I needed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Yeah, I thought I just needed so many things, so many people. I needed to be a certain way. I needed to have certain things. And I really realized, stripped down to the bone, I don't need a lot. I'm enough. I don't need all of these other
Integrity.
external things
Real.
to be successful.
Do you think because of this position, in the music industry, we're almost taught that the glamour, the glitz, is part of what we have to accumulate?
Yeah, because the artists that are performing at a very high level have those things. But it doesn't mean that I won't get those things. And I do have a lot of nice things. Don't get me wrong.
Come on.
get it twisted.
She pulled up in style, ladies and gentlemen. She pulled
Okay,
up in style.
and
Don't
I'm
play
just
with it.
chilling today. Okay,
That's real.
on a light day.
real.
Okay, but seriously, I think that I think now that I've matured, I've lived life, I've had experiences, I realize that the things we value or that we place value on, they're inanimate objects. They're lifeless. They don't have value.
Wow.
We give them value. So right now, today, if everybody just decided, I'm not going to the grocery store, I'm not buying any food, I'm not buying any gas, I'm not buying any essentials, I'm not buying any diapers or baby wipes, the prices would drop.
Absolutely.
We,
as
the consumer, have all of the power. So the biggest lesson that I learned, honestly, I know I'm giving you multiple answers, but
sure.
The biggest lesson that I learned is I have all the power. I have the power to change my mind. I have the power to do anything that I want to do. I have the power to do that. That's what I learned, because I kind of lost everything materialistically about 2 years ago. One of my businesses failed that I put all of my money into, and I had to start from scratch.
Gotcha.
And I'm still here. So, Mama, I made it.
Come on now, that's real, sis. That's real.
Yeah. That's literally, this year taught me that. Like, you can have nothing and have everything at the same time.
Everything.
And not even realize it. Some people, I feel so bad for the people that don't realize how much they actually have. Because not having things can make you feel like you don't have anything.
Go ahead.
But it has nothing to do with who you are. It has to do with what you have. But you really have what you need inside. You have it already.
Absolutely.
But some people have taken their lives because they couldn't keep up with their things.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Do you believe in the comparison, the thief of all joy, things like that as well? Do you believe in that?
Yeah, I do.
We compare lives and we're like, man,
Yeah.
I don't.
I do. I think that, I mean, we're in a consumerism based society. So
Absolutely.
consumerism drives our economy in the United States.
That's right.
I can't speak for other countries, but if nobody wants anything, nobody's gonna keep buying anything. So they have positioned things to make us keep wanting stuff, so we keep buying stuff, even if we can't afford it. We're gonna do whatever we're gonna climb on whoever's head we gotta climb on to get to that thing, or we're gonna scam, or we're gonna scheme, or we're gonna do this or do that. And it's like, okay, well now you got this thing. Now, okay, they came out with this phone. Now they came out with this other phone. Now the phone that you wanted, that you did everything in the world to get, now it's nothing to you. You want that one. So you're not even looking at this phone no more. You're using this phone to look at the other phone. That's crazy.
It'll never be enough.
It'll never be enough. So you have to already believe that you're enough, because, I think my father used to tell me this. He's like, two things. He used to say, if everybody's on the stage, who's in the audience?
Wow.
So my father used to say to me, your friends that are trying to compete with your spotlight aren't your friends, because they should be your supporters. Because they're trying to compete with you. You can't be friends with people that want to be you or want your life, right?
Wow.
So in addition to that, he always used to say, we always are going to want the things we don't have because we think we need them. So he was like, you need to be satisfied with what you have, not with the things you think you need. If you need those things, you're going to get them.
Real.
Don't spend your life missing out on the moment that you're in trying to have something that you don't even have yet. Because you're going to miss your life trying to chase that thing that you might not even get.
And
you might not even need it.
And wouldn't even respect, honor, and what you have currently in front of you.
That's why I feel like a lot of people are not blessed with certain situations because they can't handle it.
Wow.
If I'd have gotten some of the money that I have now or that I've made in my life 10 years ago, I wouldn't have deserved it, because I wouldn't have known what to do with it. I would have blew it all out the window, like blowing money fast. Just call me Lil Meech,
Real.
Big Meech. I would have been like, I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover.
Right.
I would have been like,
hallelujah.
But I think that, maturity is important.
That's
and
so true. So true.
Understanding your power.
Just like you said, I'd rather, I need to get on these stairs, get the elevator. I need to learn this process because it'll be more rewarding.
It's way harder. It's way more difficult. It takes way longer.
No, go ahead. I know in this industry, I just had a talk with the label owner, so I could have took the route,
Man, listen.
the elevator quick.
I'll be looking at them stacks like, ooh. That's
Integrity.
real tempting.
Wow.
But I'm gonna keep my integrity.
Real.
I'm gonna keep my dignity.
Real.
Integrity.
Yeah.
What's something you learned about those around you in the last year?
I learned that everything that glitters isn't gold. I learned that everybody is going through something.
Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
No matter what the optics look like on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or YouTube,
Integrity.
everybody has, I call it a black hole.
Go ahead. That's right.
All of us have a black hole
Absolutely.
that sucks us in for whatever reason. All of us are going through something. None of us are perfect, no matter how we appear to be. Honestly, I think some people that appear to be the happiest on social media are the saddest. That's because I feel like they're trying to convince themselves. They're trying to convince us, but they're really trying to convince themselves. Like, they're trying to prove to us they're so happy. And I'm not saying everybody that's exuding happiness online is sad. I'm just saying some people I know who have a persona online, their actual life is nowhere near, it's a complete
So
opposite from that.
True.
Like,
Why
we're
do you
just
Why do you
so-
think that is? You know, they call Instagram, you know, these places, the highlight reel.
Yeah, it is.
Why are we like that? Why are we so, you know, what is that about us that where we
I think what some people are emulating online or sharing online is who they want to be, not who they are.
wow.
So some people are trying to remind themselves or like show themselves visually who they are to program their mind to believe that's who they are, but that's not who they actually are.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've met a lot of women who, you know, on social media, they're women empowerment this, sisterhood that, and then I meet them in real life and they're mean girls. So make it make sense, sweetie. And I've met them on more than one occasion, so it wasn't like, oh, she was having a bad day. It's like, no, you're really a mean girl in real life.
Gotcha.
I'm a collaboration over competition type of person, so
Real.
who I
It's
am
in you.
online and who you meet in real life is the same.
Does that bother you not, you know, everybody putting on and not being who they are? Does that bother you? Like, man, I thought you were like me.
I really try not to let what other people are doing affect me, but it bothers me that there are people who are trying to be them and they're not even themselves.
Gotcha.
So you have people that are copying somebody who's copying somebody.
Wow.
So I'm aspiring to be you and you don't even know who you are. I'm aspiring to be who you portray yourself to be. That's sad because you're looking up to something that's a facade, that's an illusion, that's not real.
Is
So
the
you're
industry-
basing your desire on something that's fake. That's crazy.
Is it fake in your eyes, the industry?
There are some fake aspects about the industry, but I don't think the industry as a whole is fake. There are some fake things about it. And it's, you know, to a degree, entertainment is a smoke and mirrors based, you know, it's entertainment. It's not
Real.
meant to be taken literally or be so serious.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment. And I
Real.
think people need to take it for that. I think the consumers of the entertainment have adopted it to be real. But the people that are producing it are just trying to make this to entertain us.
Real. Gotcha.
Like, just because you go watch a movie and people are like shooting up everybody and they're like flipping in the air and escaping the bullets, that's not real. That doesn't mean you can go out and start shooting people and they're just going to start circling around and
Keanu
missing the
Reeves.
bullets. Like, this is not, you know,
Real.
that.
Gotcha.
So I think that there's definitely a skewed view of reality based on, you know, a combination of social media, entertainment media, music media, because these are all different forms of media, news media,
Real.
you know what I'm saying? So podcast media. Now everyone's an expert. Everyone's a philosopher.
Absolutely.
Everyone's a doctor. Everyone's a psychologist, psychiatrist, relationship expert. Like, baby, what? How you selling courses on information that you Google? I'm just trying to see.
No, because
Baby, make it make sense.
Because the consumer will pay for it.
Baby, you can Google what she's telling y'all, what she's paying y'all to learn. You can Google it. It's free information. She just put it in a little book and sold it to you, and you
Wow.
bought it.
The power.
But those people have mastered the art of knowing who doesn't know who they are. Because somebody that knows who they are, they're gonna be like, let me do some real research because I'm not just about to buy this course
Real.
before I find out what's in it that I can't find out on my own.
Celebrity is major.
It's very powerful.
You are a whole mood.
I am.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
You just recently dropped a whole mood.
I did.
This song is amazing.
Thank you.
Well written.
Thank you so much.
Video's dope as.
Thank you so much.
How do you construct something so honest while making it very artistic, while having
integrity,
all through the entire song? Let's talk about it.
Well, I didn't properly introduce myself earlier, but I'm an R&B storyteller. I tell stories through music that people can relate to,
Real.
that people can learn from, and hopefully avoid situations by listening to it or help them heal from heartbreak. My music is also about celebrating whatever it is that you want to celebrate in your life. So I make music according to what's actually happening in my real life. And because I'm a real person, I know that other people are really having these same experiences or similar experiences. So I wrote a whole mood based on a real life, experience that I had from a past relationship. And the song signifies, getting back to who you are. Because in relationships, a lot of times, both men and women, but a lot of women lose themselves in their relationship.
Absolutely.
You just become this man's girl or this man's wife or this man's fiance or this man's girlfriend or this man's side piece or this man's sneaky link or this man's situationship.
Yes.
Like, you lose who you are because you're trying to appease to someone else. So you kind of start forgetting like what you like. Because you're trying to just worry about what they like and what they want you to do and how they want you to dress and how they want you to wear your hair and da-da-da. So, a whole move is just about saying like, you can do all of these things for me, but I don't have to accept you mistreating me.
Wow.
So you can take all this stuff back. I'ma still be me. I'm still the whole mood without all of that, without any of that, without you as well.
So dope.
Thank you.
It's like it was like a removal.
Yeah.
The whole thing was like a removal,
So when I wrote that song, the beat just sounded like a last conversation to me.
Wow.
Like, this is going to be my last conversation with this person. So I need to talk to them as if they're sitting there. I try to be very conversational in the way I write and I approach, songs. And as soon as I heard the beat, it just gave me like,
wow.
Like he's sitting there and I'm just talking to him like, yeah,
right.
This is the last conversation we're going to have.
Gotcha.
And in the video, I actually wrote the treatment for the video. My inspiration was the sunken place scene from Get Out. How he kept transitioning from one room to the next. And he like ended up on the couch and the tears. Y'all got to watch the video to understand what we're talking about.
Please,
so whoever don't know what we're
video.
talking about, go to my YouTube channel at Torica's World.
Mood.
Yeah, a
Classic.
whole mood. Yeah.
Wow.
I really like, that's one of my favorite songs that I've ever made.
That's one of my favorites of yours too.
Thank
you.
you.
It's honest.
Yeah.
Very honest. It even being on the receiving side, let a man examine himself. It's one of those type of tracks.
I love hearing this because I always want to hear how it connects and how it resonates.
If you have integrity, you can listen with an honest, open ear, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That is a well-written song.
Thank you. I like to say I'm not a male-bashing R&B singer.
No,
I want men to really learn more about us from my music.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect. It's dope. And this is part of, and also included with this is Dance With Me. Another classic.
Thank you.
And this is part of, this coming back to full force now. We spoke off camera regarding everything you have in the works for this year, the album.
Yes. Which is aptly titled A Whole Mood.
It is titled.
Yeah.
Come on. It's dope. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because it's a whole range of moods. It's happy, it's sad, it's angry, it's excited, it's fun. It's, nigga, get your shit and get the fuck out.
A beautiful mess.
A whole mood. Yeah. I was going to title this project Like I Never Left, because I'm back like I never left. Because I really never left. I've always been here. But we kind of got away from that when I did this whole mood song. I was like, maybe I should just call it a whole mood. Because I'm addressing so many different moods and I have mood swings. So
you mentioned before your favorite producer, Kanye West. You said, I'm a lot like Kanye.
Yeah.
I'm outspoken.
Very much so.
I'm actually also could be taken the wrong way. You're a creative genius. You spoke early on about how you could be walking this slow, but your mind is like, you feel like you're misunderstood, don't you?
I definitely do.
On a genius level.
I think I'm misinterpreted. I've been told, like, people thought when they first met me that I was fake because I'm so outgoing and I've never met a stranger and I can strike up a conversation with anybody. But I think my confidence just highlighted their insecurity.
Wow.
So it didn't have anything to do with me. And I for a long time, I used to like question like myself, like, dang, what am I doing that's coming across fake? Like, how can I adjust this? But I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. They're just misinterpreting my energy.
Gotcha.
So I had to get to a place where other people's opinion about who I am or how I am is none of my business.
Wow.
I didn't arrive at that moment, you know, as soon as I wish I had, but I've arrived at that moment.
Just about to say, does that take we spoke on muscle memory. Does that take a lot to learn how to be?
Yeah, I had to reprogram the way I thought and approached situations. Sometimes I would dress a certain way so I didn't stand out. I used to wear a lot of black, gray, brown, nude colors, navy blue. Navy blue is one of my favorite colors, but I just didn't want to steal the attention from other people.
Wow. You were afraid of your greatness.
I was afraid of my own shadow almost.
Minimizing someone close to you. And I can imagine.
I didn't want my shadow to overcast somebody else's light. Wow. Yeah, for sure. But I said this to my best friend about 2 weeks ago. We were having a conversation about size and like who we are and how we look at ourselves. And I realized that the reason that people couldn't see me for who I was is because I'm a giant. You can only see a giant from far away. If I'm sitting next to a giant, I gotta do this to see the whole giant.
Wow.
So people are just seeing a part of me. They're not seeing that I'm this big thing because they're too close to me. And that's why I think it's important for artists to be mindful of who they're around, because those people can they can cut your giant down to where now you're like a dwarf.
And do you think it's purposely or it's just because of
No, I think
they just don't understand?
Subconscious. I think it's a crabs in a barrel mentality. I think it comes from slavery and a whole bunch of other very deep-seated thought processes and approaches to things. And it's like, oh, if that person's bigger than me, then that means I'm smaller than them. No, we can both be big, actually. I might be bigger. You might be bigger than me. If you help me elevate to this point and I help you elevate to the next point, you might go past me. But you're so busy trying to chop me down that I can't ever get to the point where I can be in a position to bring you up higher. So now we're both on the same level. We just staring at each other like two dwarfs. And one of us was once a giant.
Wow.
So I can't stretch you if you don't help me grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama said in a recent interview, she was saying how, when we was running for office, when we was in office, we had to climb up, we had to leave a lot of people down. We had to climb this mountain hill to get where we were going. And then when we looked back down, we realized they didn't even want to come up to this mountain with us. They didn't even want to come. They just were comfortable with us here. Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
It is. Deep. I actually saw that interview, and that was a great interview.
I learned so much. I love that interview. It was a great interview.
It
for
was.
Sure.
She dropped a lot of gems in that interview.
Did.
For sure.
I think it was her most honest interview.
I learned a lot from her. I listened to a lot of her interviews, and I haven't read her whole book, but I've read excerpts from it, and she has the art of using her words.
Real.
In a way that it connects and it makes sense. And it's like her approach is like, dang, I never thought about it like that. But that makes total sense.
Real.
Like I understood it, but I never thought of that on my own.
Real.
So yeah, I love the voice that she gives to things that we might be thinking, but we just can't formulate our thoughts around it or how to like put it together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Real.
For sure.
Torica.
Yes.
This part of the interview is brought to us by Graham Moscato.
Okay.
It's called AA, Authentic Answers. Have 4 to 5 questions for you. Before you answer, just take a sip.
Okay. Well, I've already taken a sip. So
here we go.
Clearly, that was my practice round.
Right. Here we go.
Okay.
Based on how you feel right now, if you were to wake up tomorrow morning and suddenly forgot your age, how old would you tell everybody you were?
28.
Come on now. It's real, sis. Come on. Real. I love it. Here we go. Second one. What job would you do in life if you were never paid to do it?
Sing.
Love it.
integrity.
Love it. Real.
That's how much I love it.
It's real. It's real.
I'm probably going to be 80 on a cruise ship.
Come on
Like,
now.
do
Right,
you know where you're going to?
Right.
Do you like the things that life is showing you? All right, I see you back there.
Right.
Like, that'd be me.
Real.
With a cane or a walker
That's
or whatever,
real.
doing my thing.
That's right. That's
With
right.
a little headset. Like,
Come
don't
on.
hurt me.
Right. Still getting all them tips. Right. It's real. Here we
Drop it in my my fanny pack.
That's real.
My old lady bucket
That's
or
right.
whatever
That's
I
right.
got.
That's real. Here we go with the third question. When
Okay.
you were a teen, who was your celebrity crush?
Oh, wow. Devontae from Jodeci.
Real. That's what's up.
Take my mind,
Come on.
pass my
That's
time.
real. That's real.
But I have you.
Here we
You
go.
couldn't tell me nothing about
Right,
Jodeci,
right.
baby.
Here we go. Here we go for the final question. You don't answer. You look into that camera after you take a sip and hear the question.
Okay.
If you had to cut out one friend from your life, who would it be? Don't answer. Just look into that camera.
Integrity.
And that concludes all
Oh, wow.
the answers.
Now all my friends like, they about to text me right now, like, baby, who was on your
Right,
mind?
right.
Who was you thinking?
Right.
I know I wasn't on the list.
That's
I know it wasn't me.
That's real.
I already know, like, as soon as this interview comes out, that's probably the only thing that anybody's going to message me about. They've missed the entire
Right.
message.
Right,
But
right.
that one thing,
That's real.
it's going to be like, oh, okay. Oh, you couldn't say? Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
real.
see you, sis.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, oh, God.
Here it
Now I'm going to have
goes.
to come back to you
That's how I
like,
go.
it's his fault.
Right.
I'm going to send them over here.
That's what's up. Here we go. Back to the interview. Here we go.
Yes.
Motherhood. Entrepreneurship. Recording artists. Are you making time for yourself these days?
I am more than I was.
Real.
But that is still a struggle for me because I'm transitioning from seeking balance to finding harmony.
I love it.
So balance is what we've been taught.
That's right.
Juggling.
right.
All the balls in the
That's
air,
right.
all the plates in the air. China in a bull shop. I mean, a bull in a China shop.
That's right.
But I'm only one person. I have 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 feet, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 nose.
Really?
I can only do one thing at a time. So being a twin mom has definitely helped me figure out how to find harmony because I have 2 people that need sometimes different things at the same time.
Right.
So I had to teach them that mommy cannot do 2 different things at the same time. So we're gonna have to alternate who gets to go first.
Gotcha.
So that's helped me outside of being a mom and applying that to my actual business life and my music life.
Right.
Because again, I can only be in the studio. I can't be in the studio and at the radio station and on a podcast interview and rehearsing and on stage. I gotta
Real.
do one thing at a time.
That's right.
We have been trained that sleep is for suckers and sleep when you dead and you got to do all of these things and multiple streams of income and
Right.
we just
The
tossing
list
all these
goes-
balls in the air.
That's real.
Here's another one.
That's right.
I'm like, hold on,
That's
I'm struggling to keep these.
Right.
Don't give me another one.
Who's throwing these balls?
Right. I'm like, I need to be an octopus.
Right.
But
Right.
I just decided one day that, wow, I'm an artist. I'm always trying to harmonize in the studio. And when you're harmonizing, you can only sing one note at a time.
Wow.
So I have to record one note, then I have to harmonize with that note, stack that. Then after I record that one, I can add another one. And I was like, this is how I need to approach my life. Because I
Wow.
can't record all these notes at once. I can hear them all in my head, but I can't sing them all at once. I have to sing them one at a time. And then that's why when artists are performing, they have background singers. They might
Absolutely.
have an alto, a soprano, and a tenor because the alto can't sing soprano and alto
Right.
at the same time. The tenor
Right.
can't sing alto and soprano. You have to have all 3. So I was like, oh, instead of me trying to harmonize, instead of me trying to balance all of these things, none of the responsibilities are going to go anywhere.
Gotcha.
But I need to figure out how to make them mesh together without me trying to do this because this is impossible.
Well put.
So
Wow.
I'm no longer doing this. I'm trying to do this.
Real. Harmony.
Harmony.
Besides your 3 children,
Mm-hmm.
what's your proudest accomplishment thus far?
I would say my proudest accomplishment is my fearlessness in approaching anything. I'm not scared to do anything.
That's why I asked you earlier. feel like you're limitless. You feel like you're free.
I am
I
very
believe that
free
in
in
you.
that
I
approach
can
to
feel
life.
it. I can see it.
I just do what I want to do, and I'm not afraid to do those things. I've always been like, some of my friends will tell you, when people say, oh, what do what's your goal? My goal is to be yachting and island hopping with my kids, taking them around the world, showing them the world. Instead of reading about it or watching it on National Geographic, I want to take them to these places and show them and educate them through their experiences versus reading it in a book or watching it on a YouTube channel or whatever. But I really think, like, I've always been a very big thinker, visualizer, and dreamer. And so when I say I'm yachting and island hopping, I'm on my own yacht. I want to own my own island.
Real.
I want my friends and I to be arguing over whose plane we're taking.
Go ahead.
Whose island are we staying on for the summer? Whose boat are we traveling around the Mediterranean in? These are the things that I think. So again, that's why I didn't move back home after college, because those people aren't thinking the way I'm thinking. They're trying to just get a cruise ship ticket. I want my own yacht. So
Integrity.
It's
we
different
come from the same place, but we got different views.
Andrew Tate said something it'll stay with me forever. He said, when you see someone driving in a Lamborghini, there's nothing about you that says, okay, like, what did he do or what did she do to obtain that Lamborghini? It's not the fact that they can afford it. It's what did they do
to have it.
To have it. It's like, yeah, that car was built for somebody. That mansion was built for somebody. That yacht was built for somebody.
But I think a little deeper than that. I think that the people that made Lamborghini believe in what they have so much that they don't know who can afford it, but they're making it anyway because they know somebody out there is going to buy it.
Wow.
I think about the person that made the Lamborghini. That's the real dreamer. That's the real visualizer, because they said, I'm going to take this idea that's in here and I'm going to make it happen here because somebody's going to take it from me and buy it over there.
Wow.
Like the person that made the Lamborghini, they don't know who's about to go in a Lamborghini. They don't know the person that's walking in the Lamborghini dealership right now to buy the new Urus. They don't know that person, but they made it because they know somebody. They know if they have something that's valuable enough, somebody's going to want it.
Wow.
So if yachts are being made, why can't I want to have my own? They're being made for people to buy them.
Wow.
They're not just being made to be chartered. They're being made to be owned, and I want to own one. If that sounds too big for you, that scares you, then you're not going to be in that. You're not going to be on my yacht. You actually may be working on my yacht.
Right. And it scares
you may be
me
one of the deck members. You may be one of the crew.
For real.
But you might not be on my yacht. I want you to be in the water next to me on your yacht, like,
on your yacht. Exactly.
Neighbor, hello.
Right.
That's what I want.
People
but if you don't want that, then my conversation is going to sound like I'm bragging. I'm just speaking into existence.
You're saying something though. It sounds like you're bragging. It's just like you said. I felt like I had to, in a sense, clip my wings because of certain things or people or entities I was around, and I had to remove myself from that.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, I definitely approach life like, if I see a cliff, I'm not really worried about what's at the bottom. I'm just going to jump, and I know that the wings are going to be built on my way down.
Wow.
A lot of people are like, let me see who over there. Okay, let me order the wings. What's the wingspan? Okay, the measurements. They trying to overthink, and you end up never jumping off the cliff. Now, while you over here calculating, I flew back up, and I'm like, what you doing? What you waiting on? I'm already in flight. You over here trying to order on Amazon. Baby, we are not the same. So you can stay there, because you probably would bring me down. You'd probably try to clip my wings while we both in the air. Like, no.
Wow. Outside of music, we spoke off camera regarding, entrepreneurship, some things you put away to focus on you. What's some of your hobbies your supporters would be interested to know?
Oh yeah, we did speak about this off camera. Romantic long walks to the bank.
Come on now.
Running through the check. Running up a check. Running into the mall. Shopping by appointment only.
Real.
Shopping in stores that bring me champagne while I'm shopping.
Wow.
Selecting jewelry. Spa days.
Real.
Vacationing.
Go ahead.
Hiring chefs, housekeepers.
Wow.
Drivers.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm seeking a life of convenience. That's my goal. And convenience means I'm making a lot of money because I have a lot of freedom of time because I'm able to afford these people to make my life more convenient.
Real.
So now I can spend more time with my kids because somebody else is cooking, someone's doing laundry, someone's picking up my dry cleaning, someone's scheduling my appointments, someone's cleaning my yacht, someone is vacuuming my plane, someone is doing the landscaping on my island.
Real.
Okay.
Which one means more to you, more time or more money?
More time. If I have
Integrity.
more time, that means I got money. Yeah. From my perspective. Now, girls, ladies, a man that got a lot of time, he probably broke, girl. He probably got no money now. He probably got no money now.
You saying something. You saying something.
Don't go with the one that's always texting you all day, all night, baby.
Wow.
You need to have something to do besides texting me, sweetie. Where you work at? What you doing?
Wow.
You got too much time on your hands. I don't want that much time.
Is it, now let's get into that life. You know, are you married?
No.
Do you see yourself being married?
I do. I think I'm clearly wife material. But I mean, you see the material. No, I was like, because it's not just visual, it's not just physical.
Right.
But I think I have a lot of wife qualities. But I have to be aligned with someone who has husband qualities.
Real
So
sis.
I've definitely given some wife qualities to some boyfriends. Because naturally I'm a
Gotcha.
nurturer and I'm a mom and it's like da-da-da-da. But I'm not in that space anymore.
Understand.
Yeah.
Do understand that. Is it better to be loved or respected?
Respected. If you respect me, then you won't hurt me. If you love me, you'll still hurt me. Parents hurt their kids. Brothers and sisters hurt each other. They love each other, but they don't respect each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
I ask that question every interview. 97% says respect.
Yeah. I'd rather be respected than loved. Because I feel like if you respect me, you automatically love me. If you love me, that doesn't mean you respect me. It's a lot of women in abusive situations with someone they love, but that person doesn't respect them if they put their hands on them.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And vice versa. It's a lot of men in abusive relationships
Real.
with women who don't respect them, but they love them. Love can be so many things.
Go ahead.
It can be good, it can be bad, it can be a verb, it can be a noun, it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing. You know, I can love getting my nails done. I don't have to respect the person doing my nails. They can just do a good job, and I just love the job they do. That doesn't mean I respect them.
Real.
So you can love me. It's like
But you say it. Go ahead.
the
Go ahead.
opposite is that we show love. We show respect to the people that we should just show love to, and we show love to the people that we should respect.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Wow. Bar.
That's a bar.
A bar by a wordsmith. If you didn't know.
I didn't even, we're having such an organic
Real,
conversation.
sis,
These things are just
real.
coming to me, but I really
Bar.
believe that, you know, because you can give the world the best of you, and you give the people you love the rest of you. But if you respect me, you're going to try to include me in what you give to the world. So I want the best of you too. Why do I got to get the rest of you? You give everybody the best of you.
Wow.
That means you don't respect me. You just love me. And you think I'm not going anywhere.
Respect. Wow.
Whole mood.
A whole mood. I know we didn't have a proper release date for this for this
Second
second
studio album.
studio album. Are we looking towards third quarter, fourth quarter?
I really want to release this album on my birthday,
Come on.
August 9th. Big
Come on.
Leo energy.
All right now.
BLE. Okay, there's BDE and there's BLE.
Real.
But because I feel like, that would be my gift, my gift giving on my day, and the gift back would be for people to download it, stream it. Mainly download it on Apple, because Spotify, y'all be playing like all these new rules y'all coming up with each and every day. Like,
That's a fact.
how I sell 10 million records. I mean, how I got 10 million streams, and that's $23,800.
Gotcha. That's real.
Baby, the math is not
It
mathing.
ain't math.
No shade, Spotify, but
Real
shade.
though.
Like, where's the rest of the money? Where's the rest of the 10 million? Like,
Wow.
how's this getting cut up? Who decided this?
And you don't even understand
authorized
the
this?
CPU. That's true.
Who's in charge? Like, what's going on?
No one knows.
I feel like Alicia Keys. No one, no one, no one
Classic. Classic.
can figure
It's
out these
real.
calculations.
Real.
Baby, what's going on? What's
Wow.
T? Spotify, what's T? Taylor figured it out. But I ain't Taylor, so I'm asking y'all right now, what's up?
Real.
It's a lot of people watching the integrity response.
Come on now, sis.
We need a response, Spotify. You got 24 hours.
You got 24
Count your
hours.
days.
Let's get
okay?
to it. Let's figure out what the fuck is going on with that CPU.
Listen.
Real.
Yeah.
How many tracks are on this?
Okay, that's another reason why it's not out, because my team and I have been ping-ponging. I've recorded several songs, way more songs than I'm going to put on the project, right? I probably have enough for 2 albums, maybe another EP, this album and an EP.
Gotcha.
So the hard part has been which songs are going to go on it. The track list selection is probably the most challenging part. Because I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, every song is a single, you feel me?
Fire.
Every song is a no skip,
Fire.
baby. It's so many moods, it's so many vibes, it's so much just dope songs, like so much dope music. It's hard for us to decide which ones are gonna make the cut. So
who has the ears? I'm assuming your producer, your engineer,
my
manager.
producer, my co-writer. Shout out to K Major. Shout out to my main producer, Pregnant Boy.
Gotcha.
Shout out to my executive producer, Dennis McKinley. A lot of people will be very interested to know that Dennis McKinley is a business mogul. He made most of his money in real estate, basically taking businesses that were on their way out and like reviving them, repurposing them, revitalizing them, and creating franchises and all of these different things. But one interesting fact about him is that he loves music and he knows music and he knows like music history and like who produced this song back in this day and this song and da. And he's from a music city. He's from Detroit, so you know that's Motown.
That's right.
But he has a very good ear for music. He helps me select my tracks. You know, he might listen to 100 beats and he'll send me 10. So out of the 100, he'll pick 10, and out of that 10, I might like 5.
Gotcha.
And then I might create something to 3. So it's like this process of making an album is no joke. If you really take it serious and you really want to do it the way I do it at a high level. And no shade to some of the music that's being made now, but it just doesn't sound like any heart or thought or energy was put into like making this the best sound it could be. A lot of the music is just fun and it's for the moment and it's like for the club or it's for when you're turning up with your girls and all of that's cool. But my album, you can clean up to it. You can drive, you know, down the highway to it. My album is this kind of album that you want to get in the car and just drive around and listen to it.
Real.
Yeah. That type shit. Yeah. Like I'm that type of music consumer. Sometimes I just get in the car and I just want to let the windows down and just listen and vibe and just drive around, wasting gas, going through whatever. My thoughts are going like that's just what I do, and I know a lot of other people have that same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's besides this studio album? What's next for you?
Acting.
Come on, sis. Come on. Is this something that you okay? Because I've had a lot of guests. They're approaching. Atlanta is taking off on the acting scene.
Very much so.
Is this something that you're, you know, small to large scale? Are you taking acting classes? What's going on with this?
Have you not been here this whole interview? Nothing I do is small. I don't approach anything. Maybe you missed everything I said. It's fine.
She's good.
We can just start over. It's fine. No, I'm just kidding.
Check, please. Yeah, go
Clear.
ahead. Right.
Clear the tap. Clock it. No, but I think that I've always had a larger than life personality. I can do different voices. I can kind of cry on cue. You guys already saw that, so don't try me.
Good.
Okay, and that was those real tears. They was cute or whatever. I got the tissue to prove it. But I'm very much I'm an energy. I'm a whole mood. I'm a vibe, and I feel like I'm a movie buff as well. I love movies. I love movies. Like I love movies. That's just something I've always loved. And I've watched movies and I'm like, I could have said those lines.
Gotcha.
Or I'll watch a TV show. I'm like, I could have done that part. I could have been that girl. So I know that I have the capability. I also have a good memory. Right. And I think I'm very articulate. And I know my way around words, and like just from my mom making me read those 10 words every week, learning them, how to use them, inflections. My mom would always make me practice, like if I had to do a presentation in class, like an essay or whatever project I had to do on the projector or whatever.
Right.
she would make me practice it at home. And she's like, don't just get up there just speaking in a monotonous voice.
Gotcha.
You have to use inflections, tones. When you're reading, you have to be expressive.
Wow.
But she read that to me in that way when I was little. So it'd be like, the cat jumped over the da-da-da.
Right.
The dog was running really fast. So
Gotcha.
I learned how to monitor and control elements in my voice when I was trying to convey certain messages. So if I was speaking in a job interview, I knew to keep my tone relaxed but sound confident. So I know how to switch into different modes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm serious thinking about the music too. It's like if I listen to this artist, 10 songs, I can mimic. I can do exactly what you need for this.
Like I can talk like this, and I've never even been to London or England or anything.
Integrity.
It's very easy for me. I can actually talk like this for the rest of the interview. And people who from there would think that I was from there as well.
Wow.
I did this one night. My friends and I, we went to a Hawks game. I will never forget. We went to the Glen Hotel after the game, and it was a group of white guys. They played soccer, and they were in town from like Argentina and wherever they played for. And I talked like this for the rest of the night, and they were so intrigued. And they were like, wow, he's so beautiful, and I love the way you speak. I even did this guy's voicemail over. Yeah, he asked me to do his voicemail. I did it. It's very simple. So any directors out there,
Right.
if you're looking for a fine-ass black girl to talk like this, here I am. Here I am. I got a own girl. And she gave me a love.
Classic. That was a classic.
Yeah.
I love
that song
shit.
was hard.
Classic.
Shout out to Rick Ross. That's
Come
my
on
guy.
now, come
I've
on.
done like 5 songs with him. That's
Come
my
on.
real guy. Like, William, what up?
I was also looking for that guy on that hook to be prominent in this industry as well.
What hook?
On that hook.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
I was thinking
I can't
like
even remember his name.
because
That's so
he was
bad.
notorious for that, and I'm like,
That
bro, like
song was so
outta here.
Out of here. It still is to this day.
It is.
If you play that song
it's
anywhere right now,
classic.
everybody's gonna.
Nelly's best verse to me. It's
No,
real.
facts.
Come
For
on,
sure.
sis. He's went crazy.
Yeah,
It's real.
That was a bop for sure.
Yes, it was. That's
Timeless
dope.
classic hit.
Classic music.
Politics.
Classic music. But you're right.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yachting and island hopping.
She ain't playing.
I got a budget on I got her. And she gave me my lady, she gave me my love. Call me on a late night here and he ain't acting right. I'm on my island, baby. He can do whatever he wants, sweetie. Just make sure that check gets
I'm
spunt.
telling you, right?
Not sent, slunt in the mail because it's going to get spunt. Okay?
That's
Don't play
real,
with me.
though. That's real.
I'm just kidding.
Torica, let me ask
I'm
you
really
this.
not kidding, though.
No, you ain't
That's
playing.
where I'm going to be, yachting and island hopping.
Real.
Coming to an ocean near you.
Wow.
Maybe actually not near you.
Right.
Very far away from you.
Bye-bye.
You small thinkers out there.
It's real. Real, sis. Torica, when it's all said and done, what is your legacy?
My legacy is I didn't gatekeep. I pulled people up who looked like me. And I shared the information that I had without expecting anything in return.
Wow.
Yeah.
Respect. Let me ask you this. With $50 million in your bank account tomorrow morning, what changes about you?
Baby, better shoes, better clothes, you know what I'm saying? Like new lace front every day, you feel me? Hey, the new 2024 autobiography in the garage.
Come on now.
Next to the yours, next to the Cullinan, you can feel me? Ain't nothing changing but the whips and the bags and the shoes
Come
and the
on now.
vacations and the size of the crib.
Real.
But me, I'm not changing.
Not changing.
I'm not changing. I'm just gonna be more happy to have the freedom of the convenience because I'm definitely hiring a staff. That's definitely gonna change.
Real.
You come to my house, baby, you ain't gonna need to leave to do nothing. It's gonna be a bowling alley, a club, a hair salon, barbershop. What you need? What you want to do? Okay, you can do it. Indoor pool, outdoor pool. It's too hot for you outside. You can swim inside.
Real.
Jacuzzi in the room. It's giving Scarface. Yeah. I'm gonna be like, you want to play with me? You want to?
Right.
You want to play rough?
Yeah, right around stairs.
Yeah.
Right to the pool. That's real.
Sunken jacuzzi in the middle of the bathroom.
Middle.
Yeah, that part.
Real.
But he changed. That's why he
Go
didn't
ahead.
last. His head got too big. So I learned. I told you I'm a movie buff.
Wow.
If you look at all of the big casino, Ginger, she changed. Actually, she didn't change. That's why she didn't succeed. She stayed the same. So
Wow.
I think that's the key to life. Knowing when to change and when to stay the same. There are certain things about me that I want to always remain as like my core things. Like when you see Torica, that's what you associate her with. But there are things that you have to adjust and let go of when you are trying to elevate to a certain level. So I don't want people to think like, oh, I'm never changing, I'm just staying the same. No, there are certain core values about you that should never change.
Real.
But there are certain things about you and actions and behaviors that should change according to where you are and what you're doing and who you're around and what you have to lose and what you have to protect. So, you know, I think that's also, not to get completely off subject, but I think that's part of the reason why there's such friction between men and women, specifically black men and women, or women of color and men of color, to be politically correct, because y'all know y'all be trying to cancel people for saying the wrong thing.
Don't do it.
But I think that women are so focused on the man changing, and men are so focused on the woman staying the same. So they're doing this. It's like a clash.
Wow.
Because I want to grow and change, but he wants me to stay the same. I want him to change, but he wants to stay the same.
Gotcha.
So it's like we want the same thing, but on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Instead of saying, okay, I want you to be who you are, I'm going to be who I am. We're going to meet in the middle based on the adjustments that we make together to accommodate each other. Instead of that, it's just, this is who I am, this who I am, and this take me as I am or have nothing at all. Okay, so all my friends know I'm like musical reference to everything.
Right.
So I'm that friend. When we're all having a big discussion, they'd be like, Torica, what's the song for this subject? I'd be like, oh, I got you, girl. So that's me.
That's real.
But I think that's part of the problem, not only with men and women, but in life. Like, some people are trying to change the other person, and the other person doesn't want to change. So it's like, we just gonna keep bumping heads.
Wow.
Nuck if you buck. We some head busters. Like, that's the problem with the world. We're all just trying to hold on to who we are so hard. Like, I think this is also the issue. I can adjust what I'm doing without changing who I am.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. People think by making adjustments, they're giving up who they are. No, you're just making adjustments to how you interact with that other person.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean you're changing who you are. And I think that's what a lot of men, especially black men, have just started discovering who they are. So here comes a woman like using the word change and adjust, and they like, oh, now she's trying to, I just figured out who I was. Now she's trying to take away who I am. No, she's just trying to help you be better and enhance what you have going on. It's not like she's trying to change who you are. She just wants you to be a better man or a better version of yourself. So men are like bucking the system when ultimately she just wants you to be as the best man that you could be.
Real.
Yeah.
I can go 3-4 hours on that alone.
I can come back.
Real sis. We definitely gonna do that.
I got time on my hands.
For sure.
Time on my hands.
Look at.
I told you.
One more question.
Yes.
How often are you writing? Because I know that's at the tip of your. Like, do you keep notes? Like,
every day.
Real.
I could be driving down the highway and I see a billboard. I also people watch.
Gotcha.
So if I go somewhere, I might be sitting at a restaurant. I go out alone a lot, just because sometimes I just want to be with my thoughts. Because there's so much noise in my life.
Right.
I'll go out alone. I might go to a restaurant, sit at the bar, or I'll sit at a table that's towards the back of the room so I can see the whole room. I just watch people. I watch how they interact. Like, I look at the couple who's not making eye contact, who's not talking. They're both on their phones. They only smile when the waitress comes around, and they go back to their phones. Like, so I'm like,
that's funny.
They love each other. They've been together for a long time, but they've lost their connection.
That's crazy.
So they're doing everything out of routine. So they're doing their weekly dinner date or whatever, but it's boring. There's no excitement. He's not gazing to her eyes. She's not gazing into his. They're not even looking at each other, or they're sitting across from each other with no phones out, and they're really not talking. They don't look happy to be there. They might be overwhelmed. They might be burnt out. They might be tired. They might be stressed out. Their kids, they just want to get away from their kids so they get out the house. But I people watch, and I'm like, wow, I wonder what their story is. And I just start writing down what I see. And then songs form out of that. So maybe 2 months later, I might be in the studio, and the producer's playing a beat, and it's like, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like a lost connection. Oh, let me go to my notes. Oh, that day, that couple at the restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah.
The world is your canvas.
Yeah, for sure. Movies, I get a lot of inspiration from movies too. And when I hear beats, I see a video or a movie, like a short film. And I'll just write what I see. That's how I write. I don't really write necessarily. I will go in the booth, I'll like hum some melodies, and then the melodies sound like words to me, and I'll be like, okay, give me a track. I got 2 lines. Give me another track. So I'm not necessarily physically writing it down all the time. I kind of freestyle it, but I feel like it feels better and it comes out better that way.
Right, natural.
And that's how I did my whole album. But yeah, that's how I write.
Dope.
That's my process.
That is dope. Torica.
Yes.
A whole mood.
A whole mood.
Possibly August
9th.
Come on.
That's
so we're
staying.
And
I think it's a Friday. So baby, listen, go into the weekend on the mood. You feel me?
Real.
Yeah.
We still don't know undefined as far as how many, but we're between 5 and 10, 10
It's going to be
15.
between 11 and 13.
Gotcha. Come on.
Yeah.
What's your favorite number?
My favorite number is 4.
Why?
My son was born on December 4th.
Jay-Z.
Yeah. Sycamore tree. Yeah. When my son found out that he shares the same birthday as Jay-Z, he was like, oh, I've got to meet Jay-Z. I'm like, mommy's definitely going to make that happen, sweetie.
Real.
I got as close to, recording in the Rockefeller studio. And Jay-Z's nephew, shout out to Rel Carter, used to manage me.
Gotcha.
So, I've been in Rock Nation. Yeah. I've met all the whole team, and I've been at I've met Jay-Z's mom. I don't know if my son wasn't there at the time, but I met his mom. I sang. Rel introduced me to her. I went to a family function. Jay-Z wasn't there, but Rel was there. Jay-Z's mom was there. His aunts, cousins. I don't believe his sister was there. Another one of his nephews, Mel Carter. He's a rapper. I did a song with Mel, and he was there. And I'm sitting here I met.
What is Jay-Z's family?
I'm at Jay-Z's family function, his family house. I met his mom. This is crazy.
Gloria.
So I know that I'm doing the right things because I keep being in the right rooms with the right people who are aligned with what I'm doing. So yeah.
Real.
It's just, I'm just waiting on my moment.
That's right.
It's that one. I just need that one look. Yeah. Because a lot of people in the industry, executives, they know who I am. They know what I do, but no one's pushed the button. And I think it's because they know they can't control me. So I'm going to have, the consumers are going to have to do it for me. The fans are going to have to do it for me.
They will. And they are.
Yeah, I believe that. I strongly believe that. I think I might end up, my music may end up blowing up off of my acting career.
Wow.
That's what I'm feeling. And I'm usually really good. When I have a feeling about something, I'm usually right. So I think that once people see me on the big screen in that way, then they'll be like, oh, wait, is that Torica the one that's it?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Just like that.
I've had some reality TV opportunities, but they just didn't align with where I saw myself. So
Integrity.
Real. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I want my children to love and respect me. So
go ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to be on somebody's TV snatching somebody's edges because, baby, they will get snatched. Because I know y'all doing this for TV, but what you say? Hold on one second.
Right.
Let me set my little teeth.
That's real, though. That's real.
I'm going to get right with you.
Right.
You feel me?
Real.
So I was like, I never want to put myself in a position where I'm going to, because I can.
That's it. The stairs. Taking the stairs.
Yeah.
Real.
Because, baby, I don't know. If that camera start rolling, I might take the elevator on these. And I might have to parachute off the building because they're going to be like, girl, you can't come back through here.
Right. That's real, sis.
Yeah.
Torica, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, this was awesome.
Here. Man, I appreciate it, sis.
I feel like I should be your host.
Come on, sis. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. You own yourself.
What y'all think?
What y'all think? They'll respond.
Alleviating that last question he asked me in the authenticity round where he was talking about the friend. Don't worry about that. He was just playing. But yeah, I think I should be, a little host, whatever.
Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Because our conversation is so,
natural.
So natural. And I feel like I've known you forever. I'm just talking to one of my homeboys from back in the day.
That's love.
Yeah.
Respect.
But I'm a guy's girl.
You are. That's a fact.
I've grown up around a lot of men and I when I had time, I used to really be into sports and like watching games. So I was always the homegirl, the little sister. And then again, a lot of guys were scared of my family. So they were like, little sis, as soon as they meet me, like dapping me up, like, I ain't even hugging you. Baby, your uncle might come out of here, DDT me.
Fist pound all the way from.
Yes, from the gate.
Right.
They were like, nope.
That's real. And you're a movie buff, which is crazy.
Yeah, I love movies.
You have a favorite top 3?
Coming to
Is it
America.
hard? Classic.
Someone to kiss, someone to
What's
miss
that?
when you're away.
What's your
He
number?
said,
What's your number 2 or 3?
I have a date with Lisa. I'll marry you. That boy good.
That boy good.
Good
Boy, real good. What's your
Y'all
number 2
might
or
remember
3?
from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama. Listen, I know that whole movie from front to
Wow.
back. That was also me and my brother's like favorite movie to watch
Gotcha.
together. So
real. So
I
it's
know that
just
movie.
one of those.
I didn't even watch the second one.
Thank you.
I was like, I'm not even. When I saw the trailer, I was like, Eddie, I love you, but no.
Thank you.
I didn't even watch it. I swear. I wanted to support them, but that's not something to remake. Just leave it where it is.
I probably watched 20 minutes of it. I couldn't do it.
I didn't even, from the trailer, I couldn't do it. Coming to America is such a classic film. It's like, no. My other, one of my other favorite movies is The Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington.
Wow.
But you know, Frank
You don't hear
Sinatra and
that.
them did that back in like the 60s. But The Manchurian Candidate is definitely one of my favorites.
Wow.
Another movie that I really love, I would say I Am Legend.
Classic.
The reason I
Will
love
Smith.
that movie is because if you can act by yourself and keep someone's attention for 2 hours, you are the GOAT. Will Smith and that dog kept my attention for 2 hours. Like, aside from the moments where it was showing the
Right,
backstory, the
right.
exposition, he was acting alone for a long ass time.
I feel the same way about, I'm drawing a blank, but
Who's in
on
it?
the island, Tom Hanks on the island.
Oh,
Same thing. Same exact thing.
where the plane crashed.
Wilson
with the soccer ball.
Yes. Oh,
Why can't I remember? Now you made me draw a
I'm
blank.
tripping. But yeah, right.
Castaway.
Thank you.
That's a great
It's like,
movie.
how can you keep someone's? That's what movies are 2.5 hours long. How do you keep someone's classic?
Yeah, that's a good. What are your other two?
Sister Act 2.
Oh
Go
my
ahead,
gosh,
sis. Don't-
I love that movie.
Let's go.
Sister Act.
That's-
Whoopi Goldberg is
Come
the
on.
GOAT.
Come on.
Oh my
Come
God, Sister
on.
Act 2 is fire.
The most amazing, well put movies that was needed in.
That was a good movie.
Nothing about it
You
missed.
you laughed, you cried,
come on.
you felt all the moods. It was a whole mood.
Real. Oh, she's good. Oh, she's good. That's
Keep 'em
real.
coming. Keep the scripts coming,
Keep 'em
baby.
right. That's
She's
real.
ready.
Real.
I'm gonna go off the script. I don't even need a
Right.
script. Just tell me what the movie's about. I'll come in and say what I need to say.
Real.
Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say.
Classic. Sis.
You got one more movie.
I do got one more. Okay. All right, let me see.
Come on, make it good now.
All right, okay. Only because
When black people start explaining before they answer, baby, you already know.
only because of what this film represented in so many ways. And I think it wasn't
This
slept
either
on.
about slavery, civil rights, or what?
None of that.
Okay.
It is the most. Jerry Maguire was one of the dopest films it embodied so many relationships.
It's a nothing from something story.
Absolutely.
And we all can relate to that. Yeah. He got it out the mud.
Out the mud.
Out the mud.
Rod Tidwell, they all it was family, everything, like what matters,
Putting
what doesn't
everything on
matter.
the line, sacrificing, blind faith. Yeah.
That's 2. I can't even, man. Yeah, I'll be here. It's so hard. I'm a movie buff.
Yeah.
I dissect movies.
Have you seen the new Bad Boys?
No.
Me either.
I think I'm not going to.
No, everybody says it's the best one out of all of them. Out of the whole
better
franchise.
than. I don't think there's anything that could be better than 2.
2 was hard with the girl Tay Leone and
Integrity.
that was hard. That was good.
Man. Okay, I'm gonna
2
watch
was
it.
good.
I'm gonna watch it.
But everybody said this one is like the best one
Wow.
they've seen.
They went on a crazy
We
press
gonna
run
see.
this time. Right,
No, they did.
okay.
We gonna
They
see.
doing on a crazy press
I
run.
got high hopes for you.
Gotcha.
We gonna see.
We gonna see. You're fast.
Yeah.
Like you're really,
Acting.
you're witty.
I told you.
You're right. That's remarkable.
Role playback
Wow.
and scene. Yeah.
And you love hip hop too, which is crazy.
Love it. I'm a huge rap fan. I really like Lola Brooke. I'm gonna do a song with her. Lola, if you're listening.
Wow. That'd be dope. That'd
Yeah.
be dope.
I like her vibe. I just like her energy as a rapper. I feel like if I was a rapper, I'd rap like her.
Have you ever thought about exploring that?
No. It doesn't feel authentic to me. And
Gotcha.
now, baby, I can rap Lil' Kim down to the
Real.
floor, okay?
That's that 2 years in New York for you.
Okay? But me trying to do it myself, like, I've like wrote little raps for people, like, you know, when I'm demoing a
Right,
song,
right.
but it just felt corny, like,
Gotcha. I do. I gotcha.
yeah.
Real.
But if I rapped, I would be Carisha, like, pay me, buy me diamonds, drip me down, daddy, pop it, daddy, yes. Period, pool. Like, that would be me. that would be the only thing I could do. And people would be like, okay, I get it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Check, please. No.
Long romantic walks to the bank. Like, yeah. You don't know how that happened.
You definitely got to write something in regards to that. It might be
Yeah.
might be that one track that's not on.
That will
on the
never be
whole
heard
mood
by
yet.
anyone.
Really?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Not on that. Not on that mood at all.
Man, I love you, you're my everything.
It's real.
I'm gonna just sip my little tea.
Torica,
I don't have any more tea, but
2024. We about to re-sip up. 2024, Torica, a whole mood.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at August 9th.
that is my dream
The
date.
birthday girl.
Yeah, one time for that birthday.
Gonna make it happen.
Two time for that birthday. Yeah.
As tradition on the Integrity Response, if you can reach into that bowl, grab one fortune cookie.
Uh-oh.
If you can open it, read it to your supporters. Right. And just like that, we out of here.
All right. The pressure's on. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. It says,
Uh-oh.
comfort zones are most often expanded through discomfort. That
is crazy. Come on.
What did they say on Instagram? That's diabolical.
Wow.
Based on our whole conversation,
The whole
literally our whole
conversation.
conversation was about this. That's insane.
Wow.
And I started to pick this one instead of this one, but this one it was like, just pick this one.
Wow.
I'm keeping this.
One more time for your supporters. One more time.
Yes.
Comfort zone.
Comfort zones are most often expanded through discomfort. That's literally been all we've talked about
Absolutely.
the whole time.
Wow.
And one of the lucky numbers is 4 on here.
That's crazy.
So this message on the back that's in Chinese, it translates to very good.
Wow. Wow.
I'm keeping this.
That's dope, sis. That's dope.
That is dope.
2024, Torica, a whole mood. Stay tuned for it. Look out for everything she's done, everything
Yes.
she's doing, everything she's about to do.
Yes.
The Integrity Response, Torica, has been a pleasure.
You know
First
I'm
of
naming
many.
my yacht Mood.
Mood.
I'm in a big mood. It's gonna be called Big Mood.
Big mood.
Yeah. When you see my yacht going by, that's what I'm gonna be playing. I'm in a big mood.
And if you're on the same frequency, you'll be driving by in your yacht.
Me. Yeah, all that. Follow me on the
Real.
gram, Torica's World. Website, toricasworld.com. Stream my music wherever you're streaming online. That's where I am. Come find me. Holla at me.
Real. Follow
Join
Torica.
the tribe. Torica's tribe. I love you guys.
2024.
The Integrity Response.
Sis, we out.